So I know this isn't my normal setup, but here we are. So, yes, I decided that I'd start integrating my art skills into, my reaction channel, especially since right now I live in the Coachella Valley. It's been what I call, if you've come over from my vlog channel, Kuwait hot. Yeah, it's over 115 degrees here, and when we get extreme temperatures like that fluctuate and stuff, it just really messes with my pain. I have herniated disc and sacroiliitis. I also have a pituitary tumor, which fatigues me as well and makes me very heat sensitive. So, yeah. Good times, everybody. So, yes, I decided to integrate my art skills and make a cute little avatar cartoons and so we can react to more content over here and, educate ourselves and whatnot because, yeah. So if you guys have been following I don't know what we're going to call this because you guys know I came over I like to watch a lot of Gore World. Gore World? It's that world. It's kind of right there next to the Amberverse, right next to the Foodie verse. It's Gore World. Within that world, there's the Foodie verse and the Amberverse, and there's a lot of verses and stuff. And I just feel like, coming from there where they react to a lot of influencers who are more like body positivity, mukbanger type, their weight's a thing, and stuff like that. Like Alexandra Rodriguez, formerly known as Learning to Be Fearless. Okay, she was actually shouted out by Remy. You guys know I talk about Remy and Alisha Marie a lot. Remy goes by Miss Remy Ashton is her main channel, and her other vlog channel is Rem Life. So, and then Alicia's got Alisha Marie Vlogs and Alisha Marie, right? Alisha Marie came out of the back to school era, and I honestly could not tell you what she has been doing since she started this pretty basic podcast with Remy. And ever since she moved out to LA and, hooked up with Remy, and Remy too, like around the same time, in like, it was circa like 2017, 2018 was when they started, I believe, their podcast, Pretty Basic, and we started seeing a lot of this party behavior, a lot of story times with some irresponsible, like plot lines in them and shit, like everybody, there's a snark Reddit now. Like, there is a snarking with Miss Remy Ashton, or is it snarking with Miss Remy Ashton or snarking with Remy? I think it's snarking with Remy subreddit now. I go over there. Yes, I go over to that subreddit. I am in it. Yeah, I am who I am, and I'm not going to pretend to be a perfect person. I am who I am. I like to snark. I like to call out shit when I see it, and I like to, yeah, and so one of the reasons why I got into this reaction, is you saw my first video I did about a month ago before I disappeared because, well, let me be real, I was just hanging out with my fiance Patrick, hanging out with my friends, enjoying the summer, and having a good time, so that's what I've been doing. I don't make money off YouTube. I never have. So I don't have to worry about that. So yeah. Anyways. So yeah. I decided that I would start doing this reaction channel and reacting to them. Basically because my fiance Patrick has he's got a doctoral degree in business administration with a finance concentration. And when he was going through that program, we met a lot of people from like all over because his was like an online course, and a lot of it were professionals that were trying to, get higher degrees so they could get paid more money at the companies and stuff, or companies were paying for their tuition to go back to school and get a doctoral degree because it looked good on the company or whatever. So he met a lot of different people from a lot of different companies or industries. And one person we met is in the advertising industry, someone who works with YouTube and with the advertising side and works with influencer marketing. Like, he's a high up person who manages a lot of people below him who do the marketing and stuff, but he's one of the big people who will go to, and if you came over from my vlog channel, let's be real, most people did, if anybody's watching, I reacted to Remy and Alisha Marie going to New York to a YouTube. It was for the Interactive Business Bureau, and it was them going to talk to a room full of advertisers, which I knew someone who was in that room. Wink, wink, nod, nod, get it, get it, get it. So yeah, in talking with this person, advertising dude is what we're going to call him, and him being involved in this YouTube advertising thing and stuff, and I've talked to him, and I mentioned on my vlog channel I got on a conference call with him and another woman, and who she works in for another company, but she still does advertising and stuff, and we got to talking, and there's a lot of things that they don't quite understand about the influencer side, but are starting to agree that a lot of the numbers that they're seeing, like when they put money into an influencer who has, like, say, a couple million subscribers, but they don't see the return on investment, say, like, those subscribers translate to customers for them, there's like a problem. So I've been talking to them about that, because really the only way there's a lot of ways that they can track if these subscribers of the influencers or followers, what have you, are translating into, dollars and cents and whatnot. So I decided that I wanted to start reacting to them because, Alisha and Remy love to talk about, like, the influencer side. They talk about going to a lot of brand things. A lot of these brand things are basically advertisements. They want the subscribers that are going to watch these influencers go to events or go on brand trips, or when they give them free PR, or when they have them do affiliate marketing, or when they even go to YouTube and they want to pay to advertise on their specific channel. They're hoping that the people like me and you who are watching their channels or watching them or following them are going to translate into customers for them. There's nothing wrong with that if said influencer are curating those things to tailor their audience. Now, advertising, the advertise that come up on YouTube, you can go into your back end and you could change those things. But for the most part, a lot of the ways, YouTubers can have control over how they curate to their audience is, what sponsors they get, what affiliate marketing they do, how they disclose their affiliate marketing, if they're honest about the products they show, if they don't just chuck and throw away, Alexandra Rodriguez, I'm calling you out, the PR, the free stuff they get from a company away, or, just blow off that they got a cake, from a company like Remy did from Biore, one of those burn cakes, but is only fascinated about the burn cake and isn't showing us anything about the product it's supposed to represent. They didn't care, Remy. Like, it wasn't just about you and you getting a cake. So we're going to be reacting to some stuff. Today, we are going to be reacting to Basically Unfiltered podcast first outing. I told Alisha in the comments of this Basically Unfiltered that I was going to be making this video about it. Now, this is probably going to be more educational on the standpoint of being professional when you're going to an event, or being professional when you're representing yourself as an influencer to an audience and to advertisers and to the sponsors and whatnot. So we're going to start off today with the first time we heard about this story about Alisha getting blackout drunk at the Luke Combs concert. And we're going to be reacting to it, okay? And then afterwards, we're going to talk about it and we're going to educate ourselves on some stuff. But we'll do some education as well and some talking about it as we go along and react to this. So, yeah, as we say over in Girl World, yalla, let's go. Woo! All right, we're gonna start here. I opened up the description box for a reason. Now, they are sponsored by HelloFresh. That is an advertisement that is right before we get to Zane right here with his shit-eating grin. Oh boy, yeah. I know that's like a diet. That's probably a Poppy or a Diet Coke or something. I don't know. But it looks like he's drinking like a Coors or a Budweiser. And he's got this shit-eating grin on. So, yeah. Anyways, so in the description box over here, they're supposed to have at the very, very top the FTC disclaimer that this is a sponsored podcast and that they make money off of the sponsor and that they're sponsored to HelloFresh. They need to actually put it at the very top. Peter Mon has pointed this out. So let's see here. So sometimes when you're on, not here, but okay, here we go. See how right here, how there's this more, and you click the more, and then all this other shit pops up, right? Well, the reason why the FTC wants you to have the disclaimer at the very top of this box right here is because that to condense space and stuff like that, there will be some of the description box that's not going to be shown, right? So it's going to be hidden underneath the push more button. And there's a lot of people who never push the more button. So if you are putting the thank you to our sponsor at the very bottom or in the middle where it's not going to come up because it's hidden below the more button, that's going to be a problem. That's a violation of the FTC. That is something that basically Unfiltered could be fined for. You see what I'm getting at? So I'm going to, if I remember, to link Peter Mon's FTC videos because they've been really good. And it is very important that we start pointing this shit out because there are some things people need to change or they're going to be owing the FTC and the government, Uncle Sam, a ton of money, okay? And that's one debt you can't get rid of. You can't get rid of having to pay the government money, okay? So I'm pointing this out because I'm concerned. Because, being slapped with fines like this can financially ruin some of these influencers. And having an LLC, a lot of influencers don't understand what an LLC actually is. They just hear limited liability company and they think that just protects their assets when it really doesn't. Someone can still sue you and come after your personal assets even if you are in a company with an LLC. I've seen it happen. It happens, especially when people are not running their businesses correctly. So this is something that could financially ruin someone like Zane right here with his shit-eating grin. So, yeah. So this is Alisha was rushed to the hospital. I've watched this, but I think this is important to go over again. It's been a while since I've seen it. This was posted 2 weeks ago. But yeah, see, right as you push this and more button, there's our thanks to our sponsor, HelloFresh. Go to HelloFresh, which no, thank you. I've tried HelloFresh and I've seen some videos out here on YouTube where they talk about how HelloFresh is not what it really advertises and they use a lot of mushrooms and their meal kits are not big enough and the portion sizes aren't correct. So I've just seen a lot where it's actually not cost effective. So yeah. Anyways, so we're going to get into this. Here's Zane here with his shit-eating grin. Wow. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna blow this up. Wow. I got coffee here for this because, well, I needed it. So if you hear some clanking, that's my coffee. Yeah, wow. Starting off and knowing this story and how excited they are to tell it is just scary on its own level to me, for one. As you guys know, if you came over from my other channel, I was a former EMT before I hurt my back. So, like, in my early 20s, I was an EMT. And I did, my training was in ER and ambulance. So, I saw most of our patients were people with alcohol poisoning. So, we're gonna talk about that. So, y'all, let's go.
This is her moment.
Yeah.
Speaking of embarrassing moments, as embarrassing as that was, it brought us closer. You know, we've had a bonding moment. And we also had a bonding moment this weekend because we had our first team bonding.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, this is
First
some team
official
fucking
team
team
bonding
for
for
sure,
basically
right, guys?
Unfiltered.
As a group, as a band.
Remy didn't even plan it this time. It was he.
I did
And
it.
Jordan.
Was a plot twist.
What do you mean it was
baton over
planned?
here.
Yeah.
I'll be doing the next one.
Okay, so thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Jordan said it was through Jordan and got to Heath.
I didn't know that.
Jordan was the one that set it all up.
Jordan,
Thank you.
Wait.
We had so much fun.
he
Thank
asked me
you,
how
Jordan,
everything was, and I
aka
said,
Heath's
so wholesome.
assistant.
So, this is for you.
These
do you
influencers
not know?
and their
I think he
assistants.
probably heard some of
No, I haven't heard it.
Okay, well,
These influencers having assistants, like, I'm telling you, like, I don't understand. What do you do all day? Like, Alisha has all these, employees, and Remy's got like 3 assistants, and it's like you're not pumping out content on the daily. So what exactly are you doing? You have editors, you have people editing for you, you have these assistants and whatnot, but I'm not seeing any quality content, which we're gonna talk about that. Yeah.
this whole
Strap
episode
the
is
fuck in.
dedicated
Well,
to
hey, at least we know lips are sealed on that end.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jordan got us tickets to go see Luke Combs. We had like a whole.
Jordan got us tickets to see Luke Combs. What do you mean by that? Do you mean like Jordan was able to get us free tickets to Luke Combs? Now, one thing I did find out is that there was actually a YouTube creator event going on here at this Luke Combs concert. I saw where some other YouTubers had posted about it, but I don't know if this is what they went to. I don't think they went to that event. I don't know how Jordy got the tickets. It just feels like they were like free tickets through SeatGeek. I know they do a lot of shit with SeatGeek, but it just felt like these were tickets that were given to. This was a box suite that was given to them, and he's gonna explain the box suite. Like, these box suites, when you go to like SoFi Stadium, or like all in concert stadiums, and they have the box suites. Well, a lot of times it's unlimited food and drink, and yeah. And a lot of the times there's companies that will buy these box suites and or purchase them for the season, and then they'll send like influencers there and stuff like that and use it as a write-off, as a way of promoting their business. Do you see how that works? Like, so like, say, for example, let's pick Coca-Cola, right? Random, right? Say Coca-Cola buys a box seat at SoFi Stadium for concerts or whatever, or purchases some package, or purchases, a box suite, and then they can send all these influencers there, and the influencers are going to take pictures and say, oh, thank you Coca-Cola for sending me to this, to the Luke Combs concert, or to this concert, or to this event, or whatever. Thank you. And that is actually something they're supposed to disclose. If they are getting free tickets to go to this event and post, they need to actually be disclosing that. If it's coming from a company, if a company is giving them tickets and free shit to go to one of these events. When I was reading up on the FTC, they actually have to disclose that. They have to disclose that this was something that was given to them. You know what I'm saying? Because really, this could be seen as promotion for SoFi Stadium, or a promotion for like a SeatGeek. You know how we get all that and stuff. If we see that, like, oh, in this box suite, there's some signage postage around from SeatGeek or whatnot, right? Or from Coca-Cola if it was their box suite, right? Which a lot of times that's what they do, is they'll put their free swag in the box suite for people like, Heath and stuff when they give them the free tickets. And they take pictures, it goes on to TikTok, Instagram, their podcast. It's a really great way of marketing, where a lot of these YouTubers actually don't realize. If you just heard that noise, it sounds like a pew pew, if you know what I'm saying, YouTube language. It's actually my air freshener, and so like it goes off automatically, and so sometimes it sounds like a squirt gun or a pew pew. Just saying, if you heard that, disregard it. Anyway, so yeah, this is actually a form of advertising that, they're posting about the concert. They're talking about this story that happened at the concert, at the stadium, in this box suite. So this is like multiple channels of advertising just by giving someone free tickets. So we're going to be watching in the future a lot of these like vlogs too, where they go to events and things like that, because it's a business. This is a business. These events are not being held for these influencers because they're special snowflakes. They're being held to advertise products, to translate the eyes that see those Instagram posts, that watch these podcasts or listen to them, who, watch the vlogs and watch the story times or listen to them, that those people like you and me will translate into a customer for the company who's buying the tickets to give away to the influencers, giving away the free drinks. So, yeah, let's continue.
Box and everything where they give you like free food.
Girl,
you got
that
chicken
shirt is
tenders, and then
short.
also you have a full open bar,
just
beers,
bottles,
everything, liquor, whatever you want.
By the way, no business for us having our own box. No business.
It's a recipe
for disaster. Always.
So they somehow had their own box suite with chicken tenders. Yummy, I guess, whatever. I don't know. Like, I saw the food that was being served in the YouTube creator, whatever that was, for that box suite, and it didn't look very good to me. Like, the food did not look very good. So they usually just make it look pretty, like presentable, like cool and shit, but like usually that food is not that great. So yeah. And then the unlimited drinks, which these people, I don't know. Like, sometimes I wonder if giving unlimited drinks like this to influencers is a great idea. I guess it's a way to get them to post more free content and stuff. But here's the other thing too. For them to go to an event like this and get drunk or drink to excess is also, some companies don't want to work with that. Some people don't want to work with that look. And there's a lot of companies that are still a lot more conservative than a lot of people would like to, cop up to, which sucks. But there's a lot of them that are just, they're conservative when it comes to like people being messy, if you know what I mean. Like this level of messy. Like, we're getting into some dangerous territory messy, which we're going to talk about. So yeah. Sometimes, yeah, I wonder if, the unlimited drink thing is a good thing to be giving out as a company as well. Because to me, if something is to happen to an influencer who is drinking at your event that you gave them unlimited, there feels like there's an open possibility for a liability issue there. That's the other reason why companies might not want to work with a messy influencer, is there a liability to them. Like, say if something was to happen to said influencer at an event with an open bar, could that liability fall on the company for having an open bar? You see what I'm saying? And companies want to be able to have these open bars to, cater, but like, because sometimes it's just cheaper. Sometimes, let's be real with the catering, when you're a big $1 billion company and you're doing these like events and stuff, sometimes for them it's cheaper to have an open bar. But not everybody can handle an open bar. That's why sometimes at these events they'll just have like the one special drink of the night and maybe like 2 wines to choose from or something. So they have a less of a liability as somebody getting drunk at one of these events or something. But this is a issue for companies if influencers are going to be coming and getting drunk at their events on their dime because, this box suite sounds like they got these tickets from somewhere. I don't know where, and I never saw them post anything in exchange for. I don't know. We'll see.
Especially with you two, I mean.
Yeah.
No,
we've done some damage in a box.
We have. We've done damage.
Yeah, especially with you two.
At house parties, at apartments, hotels, boxes. We do it all.
You know what? Alisha and I always say.
And I'm sure that most of those boxes in hotels were given to them by companies and sponsored. Which, that's kind of a problem. Like, how entitled are you that you're going on this trip, which is essentially supposed to be a business trip, where you're trying to help this company who's paying for you to go and probably paying you, because Alisha has told us that her and Remy will not just go on these brand trips, they'll get paid to go on these brand trips, some of them. There's a company paying you to go, and when you go, you just look at it as a party time and a time to party and get so blackout drunk and stuff, when there's a company that is sponsoring you to go to this. That's not fair to them. Like, you're wasting their money. You're supposed to be there helping them get more customers because you have something to offer to them. They're not doing this and sending you to this because you're a special snowflake. It's not because you're special. It's because you have something that could help them monetarily. And that's why they're paying you. Yeah. Let's continue there.
Bottle service, while it is so fun, it is so easy to quickly overserve yourself.
Yes,
and that's what I always say.
And that's why they have them. That's why they are stationed there. Bottle girls are supposed to be handing out the drinks because they are taking tabs.
Yes, bottle girls are the backbone of this society.
Oh, they really are.
Not only that, they are usually hot.
And so nice.
Yes.
They're always like, no, let me do it. I'm like, no, I
Remember, most of these people are in their 30s.
Yeah,
I think Remy's 29, but Alicia's 31.
Yeah, let's just jump right into it. A concert was amazing. What was your favorite part of the concert, Alisha?
When he covered.
Oh, and here's the other thing I want to point out. Heath, the guy we just saw talking, this guy right here, he's sober. I don't think he's like AA sober. I think he's just like, I get the feeling that maybe his fiance, his soon-to-be wife, Mariah, I love this pause game right there. I just had to point this out. So good. But I have the feeling that she didn't like his partying, and we're gonna react to a story he has about his drinking and whatnot, but I get the feeling that she didn't like his level of drinking, and that's why he gave it up. I'm just saying.
But yeah, let's just jump right into it. A concert was amazing. What was your favorite part of the concert, Alisha?
When he covered Train.
Yeah,
when he didn't sing his own song.
We all know why we're
love
here.
that
I mean, we see
That's a great
the
song.
fucking
It's a great
title.
song, and I never thought I'd hear it.
Prom theme.
Sorry,
But
warning, I cuss.
We were all in this box. We were just having, honestly, a really good night.
It was amazing.
Right? You and Mariah were both sober, and you guys felt like the energy in there.
Yeah,
there's so
great
much energy.
Electric.
Do you love how they always point out them being sober and how even though they're sober, they're still fun. Like, you don't need alcohol or substances to have fun. And if you do, there is a problem. I listen to enough Peter Mon, and I'm never going to put it on someone it's between themselves and their immediate loved ones and their doctors if they have a problem. But if it's just weird how they're constantly pointing out how Heath can still have fun and Mariah still can have fun and be cool and be the life of the party even though they're not drinking. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that rhetoric. Let me know in the comments how you feel about that, because I have a problem with that.
Luke Combs was amazing.
Group. The performer before him was great.
Love by
Jordan
Dirt.
Davis.
Yep. Love by Dirt.
I'm surprised
and we're having a really good time.
Name.
You know, the night's going on. We're probably like about halfway through, and I step in. They also had all-you-can-eat cookies, and I did a number on that. So that was my,
pleasure.
You have a
I was the
sprinkle
first one to break that wall into those cookies.
They were so good.
They
That's
still
some
had the
foodie
plastic wrap on it,
beauty shit right
and
there.
they didn't open it, but I opened it myself.
You said I'm doing this for Heath.
Yeah.
What'd you
I
go
did.
for? Sprinkle?
Chocolate chip.
All of the above. I did
You
the
can
sprinkle.
never go
Pretty
wrong.
tantalizing,
I
I
don't know
will
what it
say.
is.
So yeah, so we got into the food, and then everybody was drinking, having a good time. And then, I was just kind of making my rounds, seeing how everybody's doing. Kind of in between songs, you kind of like talk to everybody. And I go to just see what you guys were up to, because you were on the other side of the box. And I walk up, and you're like, "Hey, how's it going?" Everything was good. Everything was casual. I did another checkup like a couple minutes later, and then you came up to me, and you're like, "I'm so bad for FOMO for you," and I'm like.
Wow. Okay, this isn't even halfway into the concert, and she's already slurring her words. Like, come on, give me a break, girl. Like, really, like, get it together. Like, this is a problem. This is a problem if you're gonna go to a concert and you're already slurring your words halfway through. You're not even making sense. And honestly, I think what she's trying to get out is that poor Heath, he can't drink. We feel so bad for you because you have FOMO, because you can't get drunk like us. That's how Alisha looks at drinking, is that this is a FOMO moment for him because he can't drink. Because, she looks forward to this so much. Like, this level of being inebriated, which this is a problem. Just, I'm going to say this because I've seen her do this in other videos and vlogs and tell stories about being drunk. And we're going to cover those in the future. I got a whole playlist. Okay, girl, I know you watch this shit. Remember, that's my pew-pew. But girl, I know you watch this shit. I know you watch me because I can see it in my back analytics because I'm so teeny-tiny over on my vlog channel. But this is a problem. Just because you make money and can pay your bills doesn't mean you're not a functioning addict, which I don't want to put that on anybody, but it doesn't mean you're not functioning while you have a problem. You can have problems and issues, but still be able to function and pay your bills. People do it all the time. It's called doing life. It just because your life doesn't fall apart and you end on the street doesn't mean you don't have issues or problems. So, yeah, let's continue.
And I'm like, I'm good. Don't worry. You're like, no, seriously, I just cannot. I feel so bad because you have FOMO. And I'm like, no, really, I don't.
See, I told you.
Do not worry. And then I was
When
like,
you're down.
You were in your element. You were fun.
I was in my element too, though. I was on top of the world.
Zane, you could not stop shaking it. It was that thing was
Wow,
thinking
that's
the whole night.
For not being a country fan. Well, it looked like I was waiting for
That's embarrassing. But you know what? Alicia's about to embarrass herself more.
My favorite part was when you took the tray. You had first taken the tray and you started serving people things,
Yeah.
and then the tray started to
do
become a frisbee, and you were pretending to. It was when you took the tray. You had first taken the tray and you started serving people things,
Yeah.
and then the tray
What?
started to
do that.
become a frisbee, and you were pretending to throw
What do
it
you mean
into the
throw it
audience?
into the audience? Wow.
for the fans, for the.
That
For the
sounds
Lucas.
dangerous.
For
I
the
hope he didn't
Combers.
do
The
that.
homies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were.
No,
that's
that
the last
could have
time I
actually
really saw
hurt
you.
somebody.
You were,
That sounds like a
you were throwing
liability.
you were pretending to throw it at people.
You also started like throwing bread to the people down below.
No, I didn't.
Like you were like,
shut up, Heath. I know what you're doing. I didn't.
here, poor people down below.
Like we're in King's Landing at the top.
No, I
Feed the
didn't.
people. No, there was.
Sorry,
what was
after
it?
the Game of Thrones.
I was serving cookies to everybody. There was one cookie left, and I gave it to a girl that wanted a cookie.
Oh, she was
Who
so
cares?
excited. I saw you give her to.
See?
Yeah, she
You're
was
trying
really
to
happy. She walked away
stall
like, "Woo."
getting
She
to
didn't
Alicia's
ask for
story.
it, though.
I can
Oh,
feel
you were
it.
serving already.
I was serving.
We're serving.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's do that, Heath. It's like he heard
But yeah,
me.
let's get to the meat and potatoes, the juice of this story.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want it from my point of view or if you guys want to take it on.
Let's hop around because I think the
Okay.
story really goes through different people, right?
Let me tell you the first thing that I knew because
Privacy?
I knew before you, and I also didn't tell
Privacy,
you
not
for
privacy. Privacy.
You know,
Oh,
um, and so I get a call
We're in
from
a
Remy,
box
and
together.
I'm like,
This
"That's
is
weird,
how
why is she
bad
calling
this
me?"
was.
So let me
we're
let
in
me
a box
start
together.
and then I'll get
Okay,
into
okay.
you. Okay. So the whole night, Alisha is she's being Alisha is both of you are the life of the
What
party.
Remy
And I have to
means
say, I posted
by
it on
life of the
Instagram,
party, and I'm going to
like,
translate
I'll-
this for you right now. What she means life of the party is Alicia's the one who gets the drunkest. Zane and Alisha get the drunkest at the parties. That's what that translates to. Just wanted to clear that up for anybody who might be confused in the back there. I think there might be some confused people here, but life of the party in their world actually means to like us normies over here on the other side, us like subscriber, normal people watching, it means drunk. It means inebriated. It means not with it. Get it? Get it? Get it? Good.
A lot of my content was just you two because you guys you were so fun to just stand around and
I'm very easy to work with when it comes to content creating when I'm drunk.
You
My
are?
God,
What about your
I'll do
ideas,
the
Zane?
phone, I'll set
You
it
haven't been
up,
posting
I'll
on
come up with
your channel,
ideas.
just Snapchat.
I'm a hard worker for
Like
other
your buddy
people's
David.
stuff.
Yeah.
But
when
when
I'm
it comes
drunk.
to getting our own things up within 2
No,
months.
no, 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 no.
just
Okay,
wanna
we're gonna
support
clear up this
everybody.
I'm
empath
an
stuff.
empath.
I'm gonna
I'm
educate you
empathetic.
guys all
and
on
so
something here.
I was like,
Quit saying you're an empath. All an empath means, I'm going to tell you this, all being an empath means is that you know how somebody is feeling. Anybody can be an empath. Just because you're an empath doesn't mean you're a good person. For example, Ted Bundy was classified as an empath, but he would use his empathic skills to manipulate people. So you can understand how people feel and be able to put yourself into their spot. But it doesn't mean you're going to have compassion for them. It doesn't mean you're going to do the right thing for them. And oftentimes a lot of these people I've noticed in my personal life, anybody who says they're an empath is actually someone who's going to try to manipulate you with that. It's actually a really scary thing. Like I don't want to call myself an empath ever, because when I've been met with people who say they're empaths, they're actually really scary people. So like I said, just because you're an empath doesn't mean that you are going to be a good person and have compassion. Ted Bundy was one of those, and he used that to manipulate people and kill them, off them, unalive them. Yeah.
watching you guys have so much fun, and like I want to be at that level, and I'm trying to get there, but I'm much slower. That's why I really don't do shots. Like I'm just
Being
working my
responsible,
way
it
up.
sounds like.
I'll say Alicia's having like the time of her life,
What?
and she keeps like motioning for me to follow you into the bathroom, and so like we
Sorry,
do the girl
that's
thing.
my
You never
cat.
go to the bathroom alone, so we go
Yeah,
to the bathroom,
yes.
we have fun, we go outside again. You're throwing the tray around, and then I look back, and Alicia's in the bathroom again in the suite, like motioning for me to follow. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll follow. We follow inside. At this point, I'm like,
What
oh,
the
she's
hell?
like, she's at like 3,
What-
4
what do you
levels higher
mean?
than I am. Like, I need to get there. So I literally get a video of
That
myself.
looks like so
What do you
much
mean you
fun.
weren't
Yeah,
there
right?
yet?
She was having the time of her life, and like I was having fun, but like I wasn't there yet. And
She's
so
on.
She's on the toilet.
The
and I get a little video
toilet.
of myself, and I'm like, Alicia's.
I
like,
want to meet her
on
there.
such
Okay.
a better like drunkenness than I am.
There
Like, I
are
wanna
two
meet her
things
there.
going on here. Okay. First thing. Oh boy. Alicia's on the toilet drunk. I don't know. I guess we'll find out if she's like, I can't remember if she's sitting on the toilet or she's up chucking into the toilet. But first of all, she's out of it. She's drunk. She can't consent. So why are you, Remy, taking photos and videos of her drunk? And don't tell me or try to empathically manipulate me into saying this is something she would have wanted, because I don't think so. After watching Alisha and how close she's been on the Pretty Basic podcast, I don't think pictures and video of her on the toilet is something she would want her best friend taking pictures of. I think she wanted you coming into the bathroom to help her and taking pictures of her. And then getting to number two, and I don't mean the toilet number two. I mean like Remy. What Remy wants is just more concerned about, I need to be as drunk as Alisha right now. That's what she means by getting there. Let me educate you guys for a second. When she says getting there, she means drunk. She says, I'm not drunk as Alisha. I need to be as drunk as Alisha. Let me start drinking so I can be as drunk as Alisha. That's what getting there means to Remy, okay? I deciphered that and decided for you, okay? Like, these influencers kind of have a coded language sometimes, kind of like how Chantal, if you come over from Gore World or whatever, Amber Lynn or, Glitter and Lasers or Alexandra Rodriguez, any of those girls, they kind of have a coded language where they'll try to make things sound a little bit better than they are, but they're not. And one of the ways Remy's trying to do that coded language thing is by saying, I was trying to get there, instead of saying I was trying to get drunk. So, yeah, that's what's going on there, right? Capiche.
So I'm like, I'm going to finish this drink. And I pan to her, and I'm like, how are you? And she's like, I'm just having no. And I was like, yes, girl, I'm going to get there.
Still not able to talk, slurring words.
No, but she's having so much fun. And I need to also say, in the morning, I called Alisha, and I'm going to be so honest. I was like, this is the first time we're going out, like, as a group. And I was like, you okay?
No, I'm fine. No, I'm just like, oof.
She's remembering.
Why is Remy telling?
It was funny because, like, Alisha.
Side note, why is Remy telling this story? This is Alicia's story, and we got Remy telling. Oh, wait. Maybe it's because Alisha doesn't remember? Because Alisha likes to drink to get to the point of blackout, which we're going to talk about that. But yeah, I also have a problem how excited and happy Remy is to be telling this story, because I would not be. I would be concerned about my friend and scared.
Like, I called her in the morning. I was like, this
but
is
I
so
used
exciting.
to be
like,
an
it's
EMT.
our first, like, team bonding. Like, we're going to have so much fun. And she's like, yeah, like, this is going to be the best time. Like, we're going to have so much fun. Like, we're just, like, super
so much
hyping
fun.
it up. And so we had just had, like, really high expectations, and we were so excited.
Well, and she hardly goes out because Cal's out of town. I feel like we haven't been out in so long.
When the boys
and
are
anytime,
away.
the girls play. Yeah. And then with you guys, I feel like any party or event I go to,
her dog
like,
is so cute.
Never
I just gotta stop this here.
excited.
Do you guys see Rosie there? Oh my god, she's so cute. Oh, okay. One of my friends growing up, side note, one of my best friends growing up had a dachshund. His name was Raider, and he was gray and black, and he was a little wiener dog like that. And so I have a little thing in my heart, because I used to go over to her house all the time, and this little dog was over there, and he was just so cute. He was a rescue. Her dad would go out for his job. He would have to go out to the fields and shit like that, and drive around in his truck and do things. And he came across this dog one time out in the middle of nowhere, and they brought him home, and that was Raider. And he's a cute puppy. So yeah, I just had to do a side note puppy. What a cute puppy.
For you to actually, like, come out with us.
And, like, go hard. Like, we're going to have a good time. Also to
go
say,
hard.
Cal's out of town, so I'm watching the dogs alone. Ash's out of town, so
we're going to point this out since I just did the puppy break. That's Rosie, and Alisha also has another dog, Chloe. Remy here has 3 dogs. She has, Mona, Luna, Daisy, I forget the other one, Momo. I don't remember the other's name, whatever. She has 3 little dogs too, okay? Her fiance, Remy's fiance, Cal, is out of town. That's who she lives with, right? It's just them in this house with these 3 dogs, taking care of them, okay? Over at Alicia's house, it's her and her sister that live together and the 2 dogs. As far as I know, the 2 dogs, right? Alisha is going to say how her sister is out of town with the boyfriend, so she is responsible for taking care of everything for the dogs, letting them out, feeding them, making sure they get out so they can potty outside. Same with Remy. Remy's fiance is out of town. She's responsible for all 3 dogs, taking them out, making sure they get fed and all that. So they need to be a little more responsible tonight because they have innocent lives at home. Yes, dogs, but dogs, I have cats. You can leave cats alone for a little bit longer and stuff, and they're going to be fine. You know, like you have some food there and water and stuff and a litter box, they're fine. But dogs are a little different. They need to go out. They need more attention. They need to be taken care of more. Dogs need more attention than cats do. Let's just be real. So you got the dogs at home by themselves. This is going to be kind of a problem. Yeah. So, like, being as drunk as they are at this point, I feel like is a problem, especially when you were responsible for other lives, for dogs. You know, I have a soft spot for dogs and cats and companion animals in general. You know, animals that have to be taken care of by humans. You know what I mean? And this is a responsibility. This is something that Alisha and Remy signed up for, was to take care of these dogs, and they need to know that they need to be home at a certain time. And when you're being responsible like that, you need to know your limits when it comes to getting there or drinking or getting drunk. And I think that's a problem. I think that is a problem. Okay, let's continue.
Alicia's watching the dogs alone. So also on this morning FaceTime, I was like, hey, we can have fun, but we can't get too crazy because we have to go home and watch the dogs. So, like, we can hold each other accountable.
Right. Responsibility.
Look,
Zane knows.
Make sure we set them properly. Like, we'll FaceTime when we get home. Like, you know, all the things. And so we had already...
The responsibilities hitting you.
You had these responsibilities, too. That's maybe that.
Look, she looks so embarrassed. She looks so embarrassed right there, guys. She looks so embarrassed. Let's see if I can get back there. I can always fuck this up. I'm always fucked this up.
We had already
the responsibilities hitting you.
Let's stop this on Alicia's face, right? Look at that, right before she's about to cover her face. She's embarrassed AF there. Like, she does not want to be telling this story. Thank God I have coffee for this. And, you know, I'm California, if you guys know. But, like, damn, like, what? This is not okay. This is not okay, guys. Like, she should be embarrassed.
Maybe that. Oh.
Imagine these were your children.
Exactly.
Cover.
It's not funny. Look at this. Look at the dog there. It's not funny, but it is. He's trying to make it sound funny, but it's not funny, okay, is what I'm getting at. Like, sometimes when people are trying to tell you or tell somebody the truth, they'll kind of make it like a hee. Well, can you imagine if the dogs were like, hee, your children, hee. He's trying to tell you in a nice way, girl, that what if this was your child? Like, this is actually another living creature that is you're responsible for, and you're not being responsible for this other living being who's dependent on you by getting drunk at the Luke Combs concert. That's what that he what if this was your child translates to. Aren't you glad I'm here to, like, educate you guys on what they're actually saying as opposed to what they're saying? Because what they're saying, they're trying to make it sound pretty, but this is not pretty. This is not cute. This is not girly pop in any way. This is scary and a dangerous thing to be laughing off to your audience.
So sorry. There's a lot of prefacing I have to do. So then I pan. I literally can show you guys the video. Should I show them right now? No. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no.
And so then I pan.
Yeah,
literally,
consent, Remy. Here's the yeah, consent. Like I said, she's drunk. She is inebriated. When under California law, you can't consent. And so like she's taking photos of her drunk when she can't consent. This is a problem, Remy. You're violating these boundaries that it's not okay. This is not okay. This is violating a boundary to me. Like I would not be okay with one of my friends filming me drunk off my ass like this on a toilet.
Back and at this point,
no.
This is when the split, like it changed in a split second. You were fine.
It changed
and then
in a
you
split
weren't
second.
because then I pan and you're like this, butt ass naked.
And then
on the
she
toilet.
passes out,
and then you hear me go,
which is really bad.
Oh my God, are you okay, babe? And I.
Okay, her passing out like that, she could have actually hit. There's a lot of people who will suffer blunt force trauma or trauma to their head or end up with like trauma, like brain bleeds. A lot of people, like if there's a corner in a bathroom, some people will slip and fall and hit themselves on the head and suffer a TBI or a concussion or blackout or be unalive because they passed out and hit their head on something very hard, like a tile floor, like in a bathroom and stuff like that. So there's a lot of people who I've seen when I was in the field be inebriated, but they passed out and they hit their head on something really hard. I think the story I'm recalling was the lady fell and hit her head on a slot machine in the casino. But yeah, she had a gash in her head. They had to make sure she didn't have a concussion, but some people don't survive whatever they hit depending on how hard it is. And I've seen a lot of these influencers with like these marble islands in their kitchen and these tile nice bathrooms. And like if you fall and you hit your head, even on the toilet, you can hurt yourself and your brain very badly. So this is why I'm saying this is not funny. This is serious. I have seen people seriously fuck up their bodies and their brains because they were there where Remy is trying to get there, or drunk.
I end the video because I was like, oh, she's not okay. And then
girl, how we doing?
No,
she was taking a video while her friend
I'm
was
drunk.
passing out drunk.
It was truly the blind leading the blind. Like I was the most drunk I've been in a while because I
This is
don't
a
drink as
problem.
much anymore. And so
If you guys came over from my vlog channel, I'm gonna stop that there. Honestly, in today's age and stuff, like really, the safest place to drink is at your home. Even that can be like if you have a pool or something like that can be a problem as well. And there's other dangers as well when you're drinking. Like, you know, like we're going to hear in the future when we react to Heath's story, you know, there's things that can happen when you're alone in a room. Like when you're drinking, you can do stupid things still that can kill you. Yeah, so yeah, when you go out in groups and stuff, sometimes it's good to have someone who's like the sober friend, the designated sober friend who's in the group. Even if you guys aren't driving anywhere and you don't have the sober driver, you're just walking somewhere like in Vegas, or sometimes it's better to have someone who's clear thinking, because there are a lot of people out there who will target you, and sometimes your friends, when they're drunk, they're not thinking clearly as well. Look at this. Alisha had called in Remy for help. But Remy's first instinct when she was called into that bathroom for help was to whip out her phone and start filming her drunk friend on the toilet who had asked her for help. So she's violating her friend's privacy while she's on the toilet, asking for her help, and doesn't get it. And what I mean by get it, like she was too drunk to not understand that her friend needed help until her friend passed out and could have possibly hit her head on something and had a TBI and had an EMT and a paramedic show up and have to take care of that crap like I used to once upon a time. So this is some shit. Let's just continue.
I'm like, I snap into mom mode, obviously, and I'm like, hold on, like what's going on?
You should have already done that. A
Mom
would have already.
Okay, then let's like get you on.
Remy, I'm not a mother, but a real mother wouldn't have been this drunk like this. Just saying. There was no mom mode here. This was you snapping to reality. I've heard of this, and it is called, it's like, this is not really a saying for it, but it's like when somebody needs to sober up or sobers up. And a lot of times you would see this at like DUIs, or people would get in a car accident, and somehow the rush of adrenaline would like make them kind of, they don't sober up actually. They just kind of snap back to reality and try to hold it together better so they don't try to get a DUI or get in trouble kind of thing. So it's like, people will say like it sobered me up once I got, and I've seen, like I said, I seen DUIs when I was in EMT, people brought in and stuff, and they were still testing a blood alcohol, but they were talking fine and stuff because like the crash kind of sobered them up. Or snap them back to reality because they were having oh shit, I'm gonna, I could possibly I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get a DUI for this. I'm going to jail, like, after I sober up or something type deal, So that's the kind of what I'm talking about here. It's like, it took seeing her friend pass out on the toilet and possibly hitting her head on something for her to sober up and put her phone down and snap to reality and realize, oh crap, my friend's in trouble here. When she had initially called you into the bathroom, Remy, for help. Let's continue.
You couldn't move.
Just get on your knees.
And so I proceed to pick you up as much as I can, whip you around and stick you on the floor. And then you were like a little far from the toilet,
Ew.
so I'm trying to scoot you up. But
So
I was
she's
all
on the
alone,
floor
so I
in the
was, like,
box
You're
suite.
holding your drink.
My drink, still
At
chugging as
SoFi
I'm pushing
Stadium.
you forward, trying to get on this level.
What the fuck?
Alicia's like, okay, you can stop. But it's actually like,
Was she not drinking any water or eating anything during this?
Smearing it on the walls.
I'm like, yeah, it's fine. You can stop.
Or
She's
did
like,
Heath eat all her cookies
You
too?
can stop.
Zane, in my head, I pictured those dogs.
Ew, gross. That is really gross.
Up to the toilet.
This is so embarrassing,
I
Alicia.
got you. We got
These
you
are your
there.
friends.
You were good to go.
That's your friend.
And then we just like let you do your thing, and that's to say, I'm so good with throw up. So like we puke and we rally, like that happens.
Yeah.
We've been here before.
Yeah.
Call it the chili cook-off.
We've been here. We've been.
If you're at the point of throwing, I'm going to tell you this from what I remember as an EMT. If you're at the point of throwing up, it's because you're dehydrated and the alcohol's already in your system. So I guess like you want to throw up what's in your stomach so you don't throw up anymore, but like that's not going to solve your problem. It's not going to get the alcohol out of your system. It's already in your system. It's already been absorbed into your blood. So you're already drunk, okay? And throwing up isn't going to solve that, isn't going to fix it. So I've heard a lot of people saying like, would say, oh, I tried to get her to throw up so she would sober up. No, that's not going to help you. You need to drink water. And you need to hydrate yourself and you need to flush it out of your system. That's one way of doing it. And time. And yes, eating will help, but it's already in your blood. It's already in your system. You're you know what I mean? You're already fucked. Okay. So throwing up isn't going to help. If that's what she was trying to do. It sounds like she was so drunk. She was at the point where she was starting to throw up. And that's also at the point where you're starting to get alcohol poisoning. So, yeah. We're going to talk about that later. Mm-hmm.
Before, we'll probably be there again. And that's okay. And so I was just like letting you do your thing. We were just like, I was put your hair up. And you were getting a little hot.
Was it Mariah's clip?
Yeah. So then
I was wondering why I was looking like that. I'm like, damn.
Do they even remember how she got that clip? Mariah's hair clip?
The first time I saw her,
because I've never once heard about Mariah going
happened
into the
there?
bathroom. I think
know
Remy
it
was too
a
drunk to
bun.
remember how she got the clip.
Just mangled.
Like,
We tried our
I
best.
thought her hair was in like the
We tried
toilet.
our best.
I thought her hair was in the toilet.
What?
I was like, damn.
What?
She went to war in that bathroom.
The best we could with what we were given. So I was
Wow.
like, she's fine. We're gonna
These are her
We're gonna
friends.
rally. We're good. And then after like 20 minutes, I was like, oh this might be like more serious than
more
usual.
serious.
So
Yeah,
then I started
she's
to have
already
a
throwing
little
up.
Freak out,
This is not
and
good.
I called Mariah, but Mariah didn't pick up. So then I call Heath.
Oh my God.
And it's so funny because I'm like, this is the one time of the night that I was actually worried, and it was fleeting because you were literally fine. But
so remember,
I call
for
Heath,
context,
and
they're
it's
in
so
this
funny 'cause
box
I was
suite
like,
throwing
this
up.
is when
Imagine I answered.
What's up?
Girl, what you doing?
just in the bathroom. So I call Heath, and it's so funny because I'm like, I am freaking out at this time, and Heath's like,
You should
you guys
be.
get locked out? And I'm
I
like,
thought they
And
couldn't
it's,
get back into the
Alicia's
box.
passed out and
Oh.
throwing up.
No.
Yeah, because we didn't have our tickets.
yeah,
Other
no,
side
can you hand
note,
the-
I want a
hand the-
side note here. When someone's passing out and they've been throwing up as well, you want to make sure you get them onto their side when they're laying. If they're laying down, you want to make sure they're laying on their side, preferably their left side. For some reason, the way our hearts are shaped, in a resting position is laying someone on their left side, and it makes it easier for their heart to pump blood through it. So a lot of times if somebody passes out or is going to pass out or is feeling lightheaded, it's good to lay them down on their left side, and they will recover a lot faster. Believe it or not, a doctor told me once that when we are in the womb, we actually are laying there on our left side in the womb when we're, growing as, little fetuses and whatnot. So, yeah. But, yeah, when Remy needed to have her laying on her left side or when she passed out and been watching that, because you can, what we call aspirate, choke. You could choke on your vomit. And there's a lot of people who will get really drunk, pass out, and they will choke on their vomit and die. And I've seen that happen as well. So, yeah, this is one of the parts where this has already gotten to a dangerous level. But I wanted to just highlight here. Here's one of the dangers that Alisha faced that night is if passing out and choking on her vomit.
Mariah, and you're like, yeah, and then
as well as being
from your point of view.
dehydrated.
And then I gave the phone to Mariah, and then
fucking her liver.
She's like, yeah, okay. And then she gives the phone back, and so to your credit, I thought you were fine because my first instinct was
because he was enjoying the concert.
Tampons.
He wasn't in the bathroom.
I thought that's why.
A girl
You should have known when
I
she was
thought that's why
slurring
you
her
called
words.
her to come over, and I was like, oh, okay, everything's cool. And then time started going by, and then it was like 20 minutes. I'm like, damn, I didn't know it took that
Heavy
long.
flow.
Shit is rushing. And then I noticed like it was just taking a while, and then Mariah came out, and I was like, everything okay? And she was like, yeah, Alisha is kind of sick, not doing too well. I was like, ooh. I was like, is she throwing up? And then she was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, is everything fine now? And she was like, yeah.
She probably didn't know how bad
Remy's
it was.
in mom mode. And I was like, oh, okay.
Remy was trying to probably make it sound better than
and
it
then,
was to Mariah.
That was pretty much it.
Because Mariah
And
sounds
then
kind of responsible to me.
Didn't really think too much of it. I didn't know the severity of the issue.
Good.
Until like another like 20 minutes went by.
Another-
We've been
just
in
20 minutes?
Like a total of like 45 minutes.
Yeah, and then we
I was
got
like,
we got people like
I know.
Everybody had
What-
ASMR.
Why are you?
going on
What
in
the?
there?
What the? Why is he grabbing his? Gross! Like, why was he grabbing his crotch like that? Like, ew! No, Zane, don't do that ever. Please don't.
They're around the corner.
So
Oh,
yeah.
also there was a bathroom connected to the suite, so it was like private, so it wasn't
Yeah.
a public bathroom.
Yeah, yeah.
I-
it
It's
was a
still
private
a public
My favorite part was
bathroom.
Mariah came in,
Yeah,
and I was like,
you guys didn't have to
I don't
share
know
it with
what to
other
do.
people, but that's still public.
Like I need help.
It's
and so
not.
she'd been done with
That
me.
is not. I'm gonna pause that there, but that is not your personal bathroom at home. That is a public bathroom. Other people in the box suite could use it. Okay, like that's not private. It's public technically. Okay, like you did not clean that bathroom. You don't know how that bathroom is cleaned beforehand. You don't know who has what that's pissed in that bathroom or shit in that bathroom or threw up in that bathroom earlier. So, and remember, this is a box suite bathroom. She's probably not the first one to have problems like this in that bathroom or do other things in that bathroom. Just saying. I'm sure there's been a number of things done in that bathroom. That bathroom being a box suite bathroom, think about the kind of people that are there. Think about the kind of things they would do in that bathroom. Yeah. All kinds of things, probably things we're not even thinking, okay? And so, ew. Just saying. This isn't your bathroom.
And we were there for a minute, and then honestly, you were like, "Good, you just took a nap."
But she took a nap in the bathroom.
I don't know how Remy
God
was
really
doing
put
it,
us
like,
together.
putting, like,
Seriously?
the hair up. She was like, Remy was like cleaning and like wiping.
I was getting ice chips and patting you on like every 2-minute
Is that
interval.
why my makeup was off? Because I was like,
She
how did
doesn't
my
even know
I
how her
think it,
makeup
like-
got off.
That was
you were
you
just-
dunking.
I think
That's why I like,
I look like shit because of you.
you were just sweating. I think it was because it was hot. It was a lot. Yeah.
You get
Fuck up. Okay,
It was a
I know
lot,
you
you're
have
right.
a story 20 times worse. Okay.
But my favorite part though was when Mariah left. I was like, "Is everyone okay?" And she's like, "Zane keeps trying to throw the frisbee at people." She left.
So yeah, that was
So dumb.
my extent. And then the concert ends and you're still in the bathroom. And I'm like, okay, something's definitely going on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know
So
from like
the
your
concert's
point of view.
over at this point.
So then we're like,
So
cleaning
this
up.
point, the concert is over. And so Alisha spent half this concert, more than half this concert in the bathroom because she spent this entire concert drunk. Not buzzed, not getting there, as Remy would put it, drunk.
Concert ends, everybody's leaving, and then like the workers start coming like, you guys got to leave the box.
They're so like, especially there. They're like, the second the concert ends, lights on, everyone out.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
Well, yeah,
everyone
they
out.
got to clean.
so
So
then I'm like, okay, how do we play this off right now?
of
'Cause, like,
course
we're
they want you out. Okay, let's just they need to clean the suite so that they can get it ready for the next event. Usually there's back-to-back events at stadiums like this or games going on. So they need to get you out of there so they can clean it up. Also, a lot of these people are being paid minimum wage and been there all day. They don't want to hang out while you continue to be drunk or there, as Remy would call it, in the box suite bathroom. They want to go home to their loved ones. They're tired. They've been cleaning up your fucking mess all day. Okay? Can you have a little respect? But because you're so self-centered and decided to party and use this as an opportunity to get drunk, which we still don't know where the tickets for this came from. I don't think Jordy paid for a box suite for his friends to go to this. Like, where did this come from? I'm just saying.
You're not gonna like walk out in the middle of everybody and you're just like hanging like as we're like carrying you out or something. So we were like trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah, we were in the bathroom, just you and I, like most of the night. Like it was just us.
Most of
and
the
I was just
night.
trying to figure out, and then also I was thinking the dogs. I was like, well, shit, like I don't know.
Here we come to it. Shit, the dogs. Yeah. The dogs you guys were responsible for, that you knew you were responsible for. Now remember, Remy's 29, Alisha is 31. They were responsible for these animals, okay? Knew that. Even talked about being responsible for these animals earlier in the day. And chose to still get drunk at Luke Combs and be irresponsible about it.
When we're going to be home, I was trying to figure out like someone to watch my dogs, someone to watch your dogs. And so we got it all assembled. And
So they had to
many
find other people.
friends- well, I didn't call that many.
They
I
had
called,
to
like,
find other people to come watch their dogs for them because they chose to get so drunk. I hope you guys did something nice for these friends because that is just really nice. You got someone, and granted, this is the middle of the night. I don't know what day of the week this was, but this is the middle of the night. Someone in LA, which has hella traffic all the time, and I'm sure they live in a high traffic area, having to schlep over to their house to go and let their dogs out and make sure they're okay because these two were so entitled to get drunk at this concert they didn't pay to go to, with free liquor and free food. That is so disrespectful for one of your friend's time. Embarrassing for you. You're an adult. Just because you have money doesn't mean you're mature. Doesn't mean you have it together. Doesn't mean you're doing the right thing. Things like this highlight how you don't have it together. And I said this, Alisha has a problem. I don't know what it is. I don't know if she's depressed again. I know she has a lot of mental health issues, but I've always said I see a lot of myself in her, and I see this as a cry for help and a problem. But we're going to keep talking about that. Let's continue.
Close confidants where I was like, hi, can you go over? And like they rushed over. So you have so many amazing people in your life who who care about you so much. And
so many people care about her. Oh my God.
Walk her out because we were like, I was like, oh, in enough time, she'll be able to get up.
Wait till you run through all those people.
Just time kept going by, and then we were getting rushed.
And honestly, let's stop that there. I do believe that a lot of these people that care about Alisha just care about the clout off of it. They don't really care about her, because if they did actually care about her, they would sit down and actually have a sit down and a serious talk off camera. And I don't know if that's happened. Maybe it has. I don't know. But it probably hasn't gotten to her or ever happened because she's still doing crap like this. But I mean, if these were really your friends, they would care about you and you being so drunk that you could have actually had a problem and had an issue.
Rushed out, and so Mariah comes in and she's like, I think it's time to call the medics.
It's called
the
medics.
I don't know like how bad it needs to be.
How bad does it have to be for Remy to call the medics? Wow. So Alisha could have passed out drunk, choked on her vomit, and died. And Remy wouldn't have probably called the medics until Alisha was blue and stiff. Let's just be real, because she's just so into herself and having to get content and stuff and having to get, video of Alisha drunk that she probably wouldn't even notice that she choked on her vomit and became unalived. Would she? I kind of doubt it.
It's just you and I hanging out.
This
is
dangerous.
We're just keeping you cool, keeping you, good. And then I hear bang, 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 and it's Zane. Remy, come outside.
Yeah, because they're gonna get in trouble.
Oh my God, okay, so I open
because they're supposed to vacate this box suite so they can get ready for the next event, so the workers can go home.
Sorry, I just want to say this. Please. At this point, this was my first glimpse of what's going on.
Oh God!
You came out, the door open, and you guys were moving around, and I saw you with wet paper towels.
What the fuck? That's not gonna help you.
Keeping her cool.
It was like a wounded animal that they were nursing, but you had wet blanket paper towels draped all over you, and I was like, oh.
That's not gonna help.
I felt so bad.
That's not gonna help
up
her.
To your imagination, but
yeah,
she doesn't have a fever. She's got alcohol poisoning.
Poor baby. I was spritzing you with perfume. We were keeping it fresh. And then I come outside and Zane, but Zane's also drunk. So Zane's and at this point, I've kept my cool. I've been very calm and I've tried my best.
You were not caring until this point.
So Remy, we're calling the paramedics. They're coming. We're going to make it as discreet as possible. You're going to go with them. We're not going to follow. We're all going to stay around. No one's going to see. Don't worry. We're going to.
Yeah, so it sounds like somebody was getting a little authoritative with her. Look at the fucking Zane and his shit even grin laugh. Wow. Kind of reminds me of Sala a little bit. If you guys know Foodie Beauty Sala. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah. This is Mariah sounding like she's getting a little hard with Remy and Alisha there, and I just, wow, guys, this is not good. She needed to go home a long time ago. It sounds like at this point she's having trouble walking. She's just so drunk. It's not funny. This is not funny.
Cover her face, and
okay,
at this
coach.
point, he's
we're gonna cover her face like she's Cher or
not because you're
Elton
mad,
John.
you're just telling me. And at this point, I started to almost cry because I was that's when everything hit me. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry because I was
she was gonna cry because somebody was telling her what was up and telling her how this is not funny and telling her how this is actually serious. Your friend is that drunk. And we have to call the medics now because this is not that funny and it's not something you take videos of and stuff. She was getting told what was up. And these tears, Remy, are because you were being told what was up, not because your friend was drunk and needed you. It's not like Alicia's been sick with medical problems and she's in the hospital because she's going to have surgery to save her life. This is because she got too drunk in a box suite. And you allowed it to go on this long. And we're taking pictures and videos of her without her consent because you cannot consent to something like that when you are drunk. Just saying. It looks like you're trying to take stuff for blackmail.
It's just a lot.
That's a problem, a legal problem.
I looked and it's like Heath, Mariah, Zane, Todd, some other people there, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, and I didn't want anyone to see you. I was like freaking out.
No, she didn't want people to know how shitty of a friend she was.
Then the paramedics come in with a fucking stretcher. I was like,
oh,
we needed
wow.
a
Let's
stretcher.
pause this here. Wow. So we can see who's taking. Is that Zane? Like you can see Mariah. There's Zane taking photos. Wow, of a drunk person. Now, Zane was pretty out of it. They were all out of it, but you shouldn't be taking pictures of someone, especially, okay, here too. This would piss me off as when I was an EMT because you're actually technically violating someone's medical privacy right here, in my opinion. And that's how a lot of the paramedics and stuff, we would tell people, can you please put your camera away? Or I would tell people, can you please not take pictures or put your camera away and stuff? Because for one, I'm not consenting to you filming me or whatever. It does happen. The other thing too, you're violating her medical rights. She can't consent to you taking photos and pictures right now because she's too drunk. Especially it being a man taking photos like this of a drunk woman who's passed out. The optics are not good, Zane. Now I know like this is not what that would be, like essay along the essay lines, but this is still not a good look to have a man taking out his camera, let's zoom in on that, and photographing a woman who is passed out. There's Mariah just co-signing that. But you know what? This is actually kind of on par for you. You know, remember your friend? Yeah, my cat agrees. You hear him in the background. My cat agrees. Remember David Dobrik, essay for the views? Yeah, Zane, this actually tracks now. This makes sense. It's not funny. This is not, whoa, I didn't mean to do that. But that's not funny. Yeah, just not good, guys. Not good. Optics means everything, especially when, you know, your good buddy David's done essay for the views. Let's continue.
Like a blanket on you, and we were like trying to make sure like nobody could like identify.
Yeah, you were just like
get pulled out. So,
first of all, what do you mean like so they could not identify her? Like what? Like this is one thing, and you've heard me say this on my vlog. I keep repping my vlog channel, but that's where I've said all this is. These influencers want to think that they're Cher. They want to believe that they're Elton John. Like Elton John famous, like Cher famous, like Lady Gaga famous, like Taylor Swift famous. Like, remember that's my pew pew. It's not a pew pew. That's not a pew pew. That's my air freshener. That's a pew pew. That's my pew pew. Yes, my pew pew air freshener. No. Anyway, so yeah. You're not famous. You're not Cher. You don't... I don't understand why they think they're, like, that kind of famous, where they're going to have to put a towel over Alisha so that people don't recognize her, like, and take photos and leak it and shit. Like, when you know you're going to come on this podcast and be peer pressured in, Alisha, to letting your friends tell this story. Because you're not telling the story. Your friends are telling the story because... you don't remember the story because you were blackout drunk. And, you know, we're going to talk more about that. So, yeah. Let's continue with Zane and his shit-eating gritty hair.
But wow. They're halfway in the bathroom, halfway in, like, the hallway of the suite. So I'm watching, and the guys horrible. Working, pulling you on this thing. I'm going to tell you right now, they banged you up against the wall so many times. It was boom.
They did not bang her up against the wall. It was the gurney that was banging up against the wall. That happens in tight spaces, especially when... here's the thing, too. Like, it's not easy to get those gurneys in small places like those suites, right? And so for Alisha to be irresponsible and pass out and stuff, you're making this hard, like, for the EMTs. Like, they're not there to help clean you up. After you get so drunk, you get alcohol poisoning. They're not there for your convenience. They're supposed to be actually there for real medical emergencies. And yes, this is a medical emergency, but one that you contributed to. Like, they're supposed to be there in case someone has a heart attack and, needs an AED or needs, CPR or, God forbid, stroke people. Like, just because there's other people, and we're going to get to it, that are having these same issues as you, Alisha, at SoFi Stadium, doesn't mean you get to, like, you should join the party as well.
Oh, boom. And they were trying to, like, force it through, and, like, the angle wasn't working. I'm like, guys, back it in. Like,
you said that. You're like,
because
why don't you
know
back
so much
it
about
in?
being an EMT.
They rammed your car. Dude.
And at one point, Remy turns out, she's like, everybody turn around.
She was in there fine.
I didn't want anyone to see you.
And this is as Alisha.
Who? You're not Cher.
Everyone look at the stage.
Doing these weird moves, Zane.
Gross.
Oh, I was on it. And then
We're like, Alisha, you good? She goes,
She's a bad mom.
yeah,
She gave that Terminator thumbs up, going down into the lava.
like you at this point, you were like coherent and you were you were talking when I would ask you questions and you could answer, but the thing is you just couldn't walk. Like that was just like your body had just given out for the day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Remy, that's alcohol poisoning bad. That's called inebriate. That it's intoxicated bad. Like that's Remy. Like this is not like, oh yeah, she just couldn't walk. It's not like, okay, I have sacroiliitis, I have back problems and stuff, right? And I've had to have cortisone injections into my SI joints. Well, when they do that, they'll also inject you with lidocaine, which the lidocaine wears off, but it's so that like when they pump you full of cortisone and the recovery, and it just helps. And then it also helps with the pain in the joint, whatever. So I've had it where they've injected my SI joint, and because it, affects the sciatic nerve, my leg was numb. My leg was numb. I could not feel my leg. I could not walk on my leg. They had to bring me out. A couple of times it was a wheelchair, and then they gave me a walker to go home with. But this is not like she can't walk because of a medical procedure she had. She can't walk because she did this to herself, Remy. Because she drank so much, she's intoxicated her body, and now it can't function. Her brain can't coordinate the motor functions for her to walk. That's so bad. That's not good. Alicia's 31. What? Let's continue.
You hadn't had enough to eat. We didn't even start with that. You had told me in the morning that you hadn't eaten enough. I tried to feed you before we went, and it wasn't enough for...
No, you know what? No, this is a bullshit excuse. I just didn't eat enough. So what was with the whole chicken strips and cookies earlier thing? What was that? Did Alisha not do that? And you know what? This is Alicia's as an adult. She is an adult. She's not a child. It's her responsibility to know that she needs to eat with alcohol. And I'm sorry, but like, it wasn't like she had a drink on an empty stomach. No, she drank a lot to get here. So this is some BS excuse here. This is Remy trying to make this look prettier and sound prettier than it is. When this is some foodie beauty shit here. This is some foodie beauty glitter and lasers at Target bullshit. You guys know what I'm talking about, too, if you came over from Gore World. Telling you, like, sometimes things might look a certain way on the outside, but when you get down into it, these women, these girls, they're all the same. They are all the same. Some just make it look better than it is. Like, they can function. Let's continue.
The night. And so... it was funny because the paramedics came in and they were like obviously asking for all your information, and they're like, "What's your name?" And you're like, "Alisha Marie." I was like, "Alicia McDonald."
Also, I never actually go by Alisha Marie in real life.
Hoping they recognize you.
Alisha
Marie.
They were like, "How old are you?" You're like 31. They're like, "What?"
There's always this undertone with Alisha too about like, I'm famous. I'm famous. I don't actually think she's that famous. Like, people know you, Alisha, but they don't know you. You know what I mean? You're, like I said, you're not Elton John and you're not Cher.
It is, and you went, no, and they're like, no, and start writing it down. I went, to be fair, I don't eat, and they were like, because I was trying to back you up. I didn't know what day it was either.
She's
Who
slurring
knows the
also.
day?
Because they were trying to talk to her. Okay, you know what? The reason why they were talking to Alisha and they wanted Remy to shut up is they were doing a mental assessment on Alisha right now. So by asking Alisha her name, what day it is, those types of questions, they're actually going through a mental assessment to actually see how coherent she is. Because if she fails part of this assessment, essentially, they're just going to take her over to the hospital. Like, they were gonna call code and go ambulance and go to the hospital. I'm not joking. Like, that's what was going on, and that's why they were telling Remy to shut up and quit answering, is because they were trying to assess how alert Alisha was. Because you're saying she drank so much, she's got alcohol. They're going, okay, we're trying to see how bad the alcohol poisoning really is. Is she going to need an IV? Type moment, guys. Wow. Pause game strong here. Keith, yeah.
Wait, oh my God.
But also, like, how I knew you were fine, which now we know, but like, well, not knew you were fine. You kept flipping me off when we were in the bathroom because I'd be like, "Are you okay?" Or like, I'd be like, "Alisha," like I'd ask you questions and you'd flip me off. So I'm like, "Oh, she's fine. She's just being sassy."
Yeah,
and
because
then when you
you're
flip
a
the
shitty
paramedics
friend.
off, I was like, "Alisha, they're trying to help you. You can't do that."
Wow, Alicia, you're so Pac. You're so Tupac there. Wow, you're so gangster. You're so hardcore. Flipping everybody off on your way into the ambulance. Hardcore, Alicia. Yeah. You know, that's reserved for Tupac, not you. A white girl. Like, I'm part white too. I'm part brown. Girl, no. 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 This is just a no. It's not for you. That's reserved for Pac. When he got shot. He didn't have alcohol poisoning. He was shot and put into the back of the ambulance, and he flipped off the cameras as they did it. That's reserved for Tupac, not you. You're not famous. Stop it. Be responsible.
We have now found out that Alisha thought she was giving them a thumbs up.
I did. I could
see
lying.
how that could get a little confusing.
Her true colors were coming out.
It doesn't matter.
I was realizing as she's in the in the stretcher about to get taken out, and she was like putting her thumbs up. It started hitting.
Remember, guys, side here, I gotta pause this so you can hear me because this is important. Alcohol doesn't make you do things you wouldn't like. It inebriates you and intoxicates you where you can't make great decisions, right? But some of the things people will do or say, like, the flipping off and shit like that, sometimes people's true thoughts come out when they're drunk. You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, people their true thoughts and feelings about you will come out and you're like, oh, this is what you really think about me. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments. Yeah, she can't consent here or anything, but her inhibition is lowered. That's what alcohol does. It lowers your inhibition. So you'll make decisions or you will say things that you normally wouldn't say because you know better in like a social situation that if Remy's pissing me off right now, I can't flip her off. That's not appropriate. It's not adult. I'm 31 years old. You're 31, Alisha. But because she's drunk and the alcohol has lowered her inhibitions to not make good judgment calls, she's flipping Remy off. You see what I'm saying here? So that's why, her being like, I'm famous, cover me. I wonder if she really believes that. Do you really believe that? Do you believe you're that famous, Alisha? Because I don't know if you are. Yeah, let's continue.
Me how how funny this was going to be the next day.
Yeah.
Because
once we knew she was okay, we're
so
like
funny.
laughing.
I think
alcohol
just
poisoning
the
so
whole
funny.
like team bonding thing really really made me laugh. Like there's the whole
So much
conversation like
bonding.
team bonding first night, and then like that was the first
Stretcher.
night.
So much
Stretcher.
bonding.
And so then at this point they're wheeling you out, and like everyone was watching, and I was upset for you. So I was trying to crack some jokes.
You were upset
Like
for
drunk Remy
her?
was like,
Tap dancer?
I felt like the fucking court jester. Like I was like,
What the hell? Oh my God. Okay, we got to pause this. Wow. This is just a no for me. First of all, it looks like you guys are coming out of Stagecoach to me. Like this is very much deja vu, circa reminding me of being an EMT, and the concerts are going on and people are coming in with alcohol poisoning. Look at the poor EMT guy in the back here. Like, yeah, that's the EMT, because no, that's the medic. Usually, well, thank God that they blurred the other person out, but this is some shit. Look, poor Alicia's got her hair up in a bun because she's been so sick. Made herself so sick. Look, they have the vom bag down here too. Look, you see that round thing right there in the middle, the blue thing? That looks like a vomit bag. So there's like a bag. So you guys know I have a lot of health issues and stuff. And one of the things I dealt with in my early 20s was I was on a medication for my back. And I ended up, unfortunately, having the side effects of pancreatitis from that. So I ended up in the ER a lot. I took the ambulance a lot. I was sick a lot like this, not by choice, but because I was having a side effect from a medication a doctor prescribed me. And I would have to take the ambulance because I'd be so sick like this. So, yeah, I've used those bags a time or two. Been very grateful as well that they had anti-vomiting meds on deck, on the rig, when they took me to the hospital. But, you know, yeah. Wow, Remy, especially with the little Louis Vuitton bag there and your denim skirt. Wow, girl. This is going to be a no for me, okay? Yeah. Wow. Okay. Let's keep going.
Like, put on a costume and like pose. Like I was just trying to make it funny and like lighten the mood.
No.
Everyone and photos inserted
here.
Because like everyone just was.
Do you notice she's got the invisible hair on her nose too? She keeps itching her nose.
And then at this point they're wheeling you out, and like everyone was watching, and I got real.
Everybody was
upset
watching.
So I was trying to.
Look. She keeps touching her nose. You got a bat in the cave there, Remy. You digging for buried treasure there? See, this is my problem, is like my nose will get itchy. And so I'm always afraid if I touch my nose, people are thinking I'm picking my nose. And so, yeah. What's going on there, Rems?
Crack some jokes. Like drunk Remy was like, I felt like the fucking court jester. Like I was like, let me like put on a costume and like pose. Like I was just trying to make it funny,
that's
like
not
lighten
funny.
the mood because everyone and
Quit
photos
touching your
inserted
nose.
Because like everyone just was like,
I'm crying.
Everyone
laughing.
was like so like, oh my God, is she okay? But like we knew you were fine.
No, like.
Ish.
Should I say my POV?
Yeah, please,
You did
that.
because
Okay,
you're
You have
not.
a POV?
Surprisingly, yeah. Should I say my POV?
Did you see that?
Yes, oh my
Let's
God,
watch
You
that
have a
again.
POV?
Surprisingly, yeah.
Wow. See, that's Alisha being like, okay, I've been sitting here this entire time listening to everybody else recount my story and humiliating me and using me for content, and now I'm finally done. Now we're here. This is my turn. I'm Cher. I'm famous. No. I'm just... they're using this and whatever's going on, this problem, as like an excuse. It's just, this is sad. This is not good. This is not a funny, cute story time. You're 31, and we've heard several of these stories about you, Alisha. This is a problem. Let's see her POV.
Oh, I'm surprised!
Okay, Okay, so I was so excited, team bonding. Also, love a concert. Not the biggest country fan, but like, yeehaw, baby! I'm here for a good time. Let's do it.
Yeah.
In the morning, I had taken my medication, and one of them like makes you like not that hungry. So
Here's the other thing too. There's a lot of medications that you're not supposed to mix with alcohol because it'll actually enhance the effects of the alcohol. And then, like, her talking here about, like, one of her medications not making her hungry. Is she on Ozempic, too? If she is, and her doctor prescribed it because there's a reason, that's fine. But this is your responsibility to know, like, your limits with alcohol, especially at this point when we've heard several of these stories of you having where you drink so much that you have a problem. Like, she told us not too long ago in a podcast about how she went to Coachella with Ava back during the back to school age, you know, back to like Flower Crown 2014, 2013, you know, Coachella, and how she got so drunk she had to go sleep it off in the medic tent at Coachella. That's 10 years ago. What? That's a problem. That sounds like a problem. Like, you didn't learn from that one or two times you got blackout drunk somewhere and was sick. You keep doing it, even though you get sick. Like, this is not cute. This is a sign of a problem. This is not like the Kardashians reality show. Like, none of that's real. You know that, right? Okay, let's continue.
I forgot to eat when I got to REM. She was like, "We need to eat," but I was late because
I forgot to eat. Yeah,
you were really late. I was late, so I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, we always eat before.
Here's another thing too I've heard of. It's been a long time since I've heard of this, but of girls, women, or people who won't eat and they'll save their calories for alcohol because alcohol's got a lot of calories in it. And so they'll save their calories for alcohol. And I forget what they call that. There's a name for it, but I've heard of that too. And that's a problem as well. You could kill yourself doing that. Like, this is bad.
Concerts,
yeah. So I'm so excited. I dusted off my cowgirl boots from 2 years ago at Stagecoach. I'm like, okay, I like this is perfect. Got my little hat. And
Lord.
Just totally
dusted them off and then had to power wash them
right here. Sorry, but like, yeah, total white girl
Acid
stuff
bath.
right here.
yeah, so he did a cover of Train. Hello. What's it, Jupiter or something?
Stop deflecting.
Oh my God, she just knows it's the Train song. She doesn't know it's called Drops of Jupiter. Wow. You know what I noticed too? Luke Combs does a lot of covers of songs that I asked Patrick about it. He's not here right now, but like I asked him about it and I'm like, does he do a lot of covers? And he's like, well, he does his own songs too. And I'm like, it sounds like he does a lot of covers. So
Baby.
I literally was like, this is my favorite thing ever. Having so much fun. Clearly, I'm most sad of the entire night. Other than what I put you through, Rem.
Oh, most sad.
What I'm most sad about the night, other than what I put you through.
Told you, don't worry.
And
feels so bad because she keeps doing it.
No, it was that I missed this song, but clearly I have 2 minutes of me watching it, so at least I have that.
Oh,
memory.
good.
Yeah.
One of my favorite.
Wait a minute. So you thought you saw that song, or you didn't? You thought you missed it, and then you have footage of you watching it, but you don't remember it. Wow. Okay.
Favorite moments of the entire
Let's
night
continue.
was when I was in the bathroom, right? And
Sorry.
I was in the bathroom before Alisha, and she's like banging on the door, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, what? She's like, Zane, you better not drink anymore because you're on medication. You're on Lexapro. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm good. She's like, Zane, look at me. Look at me.
Wow.
You don't want to do this to yourself.
Why is that happening? Why is she telling him that? Is there been an issue before where he got too messed up on Lexapro? See, are you starting to see the issues here with the medications and the alcohol mixing and then like the giggling and laughing. Like, she comes into the bathroom, and then, like, it sounds like she started throwing up. Let's continue.
You don't want to do this here, so I'm like, I'm good, Alisha. I promise. I'm good, baby.
like, okay.
I'm good. I'm like, thank you, though.
Wow.
Like, I got to listen to you
Very
more.
sweet. It's very
I got to
sweet.
listen to you more. And then we switch places in the bathroom.
And she never comes out. Never to be seen
Wow.
again.
Clearly, I was talking to
yep,
a mirror.
she
Oh wait,
starts
I have
throwing
to
up.
read you my texts from Zane specifically because they're so funny.
Wait. Okay, while you find that,
So
so I
they're all
remember
in the
like I
box?
kept banging.
They're all in the box suite, texting each other and calling each other. Just so you know, they're all in this little suite, this little box suite at SoFi Stadium, and they're, well, you know, Heath and Mariah sounded like they were sober, but like they're all texting and calling each other and texting and calling from the bathroom. Like, this is the most psycho thing I have ever heard. Like, there's a bunch of influencers at a Luke Combs concert at SoFi Stadium. Likely these are tickets that were given to Jordy, right? They're all in there. Most of them are so messed up. They're texting each other and they're calling each other from inside the suite. Like, the call is coming from inside the box suite, guys. Like, this is the most psycho fucking crackhead shit. This is why I'm saying, like, this is some girl world shit. This is some foodie beauty crackhead Olympic shit here. Like, this is some crackhead shit, calling each other from inside the same box suite. Like you're on the other side of that, you're texting each other. What the fuck is going on? Like, I don't know if they were doing more than drinking, but what the like I said, this is crazy. This is
on the bathroom, and I
locale status.
think at one point I was like banging on the bathroom, and then you were there, but I was like, I swear to God, if this is Todd, because it felt like someone was in there for 2 hours.
And I started banging too.
Yeah, we were like, oh,
Boom,
shit.
boom,
Todd!
We're like, stop taking your big fat shits. And thinking it was Todd in there.
I literally go.
where did the
I
accent
swear
come
to God,
from?
if it's Todd in there, instantly picture the most
Who's
Disney
Todd?
movie ever. Todd walks up. Hey guys, what's up? Like, in the same breath, I lose it. I start crying, laughing. I'm like, oh my God. I'm
So
like,
who was in there?
We,
Crying,
Zach,
it was
laughing.
Zach, but we thought it was
Oh.
like one of the ladies running the box, and we're like,
Who's
oh
Zach?
my God, that's
but
embarrassing.
so it was a good thank God, but it also felt like the Spider-Man of like.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, oh my
What?
God, Alisha, you are on another level right now.
Wow. So she thought she was. So at first she thought this Todd guy was in the bathroom, and they're banging on it, and then Todd walks up, and then they're like, shit, well, maybe the lady who was helping run the box suite was in there, and we've been banging on it the entire time while she's trying to piss and shit in there, thinking, oh my God, these influencers are fucking nuts. And then they find out it's this other guy. Like, what? This is a lot. Wow. This is some, like I said, this is some shit. This is some crazy ass crackhead.
Oh,
shit.
and you were.
And I
You
was, and I
were.
was having fun until I wasn't.
I
And
think
that's
you-
just life.
And that's like,
I think
And
you
that's
were
life.
still having fun though on that
honestly,
stretcher. I think you were.
Okay, there's gonna be some
You
comment that's
think
like,
she
oh my
would-
God, you're like fucking 30. blah,
no,
blah, blah,
she
need a
should
minute,
not
you know,
have been
whatever.
having
Okay.
fun.
We're young at heart.
I'm willingly putting this story on the internet. I'm aware how it looks. I'm aware how it sounds. Did I tell my mom not to listen to this
Obviously.
episode? Yes. Did I have to tell her anyways? Yes.
Because of the amp.
Okay, first of all, Alicia's mom, she's such a sweetheart, and she's so nice on the vlogs, and I don't know. Her mom needs to have a talk with her. Her family needs to have a talk with her, because these are a problem where she's going to get hurt. Like, I don't think they see any of this as a problem, because Alisha still pays her bills and pays mom and dad's bills, and, you know, helps out Ashley, which we'll talk about Ashley's, you know, financial stuff, you know, in the future. But they've not seen this as a problem because Alisha hasn't gotten hurt or shazulted, because we're on YouTube, or, you know, a DUI or And here we are. We're finally at the point where we're starting to push the dangerous limit. This should have been a wake-up call, but it wasn't. That you got so drunk in, like, public that you had to be taken to the hospital on a stretcher like this. But you're using it as content and you think it's funny. And sadly, this probably won't be the wake-up call. Let's continue.
We're getting there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry.
No,
so
I haven't heard this yet.
Let me just close it out. So Zane,
Close it out.
Mariah, myself, and the rest of the people all left. You were going upstairs with her on the stretcher to do like a little like cool off period.
I remember Remy being like, "Hey, we
For
have
her
to
to
get you to an
sleep off
Uber,
the
right?"
booze.
The one thing about me, I'm not a drunk walker. Like, I am stoned. I will sit. Like, you can't move me. Like, I'm just like, I can't walk, and especially no.
What she's trying to say is, and let me translate for you. She's the kind of person that will drink so much that she can't walk. That's what she's telling us right here. So, or stoned, apparently. So, like, I imagine there's a lot of times Alicia's doing this at home. Is what this is sounding like. And we're just seeing it, the parts where it spills over into the vlogs and stuff. But, like, they've made a lot of comments about her drinking, and it just, I don't know. This is a wow. Okay. Let's continue here, because, yeah, this is where it's starting to get kind of serious. You know?
SoFi Stadium, like, I'm like, bitch,
That is like
it's
a hard place to get around.
4 escalators, like, and then a mile to get to your Uber. I was just like, I can't even go like around the corner. I was like, there's no way you can move me. Like, that's the one thing about me. If I was like anywhere else, then this whole night would have been so different if we weren't at
I
the
was
stadium.
just
I
able to
think
pass out at
I think
home,
this
this
place
would've
was
been
the
fine.
best time for you.
Exactly, because
yeah.
I felt so safe.
I felt so safe, so it was totally okay for me to have alcohol poisoning. I don't know, you could have hit your head in that bathroom. I pointed that out. I pointed out how you could have aspirated on your vomit. Yeah, you could be damaging your liver right now. Your stomach lining, your esophagus. This isn't safe. This isn't safe. Don't know how else to put it. This is not
Obviously,
safe.
they have protocol and they have to follow that shit. But when when you have a paramedic, obviously I couldn't see it. Obviously, it was
I
just
remember
protocol.
protocol, yes.
Obviously, when I have a paramedic, I only could hear his sweet voice saying, "Hey, we need to get you in an Uber." And then Remy goes, "Alisha, can you get in an Uber?" And I go, "No." And then I hear, "Okay, put her on the stretcher." And then the next thing you know, I feel
First of all, an
Watching
Uber's not
them
going to want
lift
her in there.
over and over and over again, your limp body in those like blue mesh blankets from stretcher to stretcher through the.
Yeah, it's not easy, but you learn a special technique how to move people when you're doing EMT and stuff like that. So, like, you'll learn how to lift someone, so it's actually pretty easy, and you learn to lift, like, from your butt and your knees and your thighs and stuff, so you're not hurting yourself and holding in your core, but yeah, you learn how to do and move people, and it does look impressive, but, you know, if you learn how to properly move someone, it's not that hard, especially when you have assistance and whatnot. Like, yeah, it's like physics and shit.
Night was crazy.
one time I felt and I was like, "Damn, I feel so heavy."
I have to read my text from Zane, and then we'll conclude
Yeah.
your POV. 10:33 p.m. Are you in the bathroom? Me. Yes. Oh, okay, good. 11 o'clock. Hey, it's about time to go. Get her together. Ha ha ha. We're here to help. 11:58. Hey, checking in. How
time did
she's
it end?
doing?
Like 11.
Oh,
30?
11. Yeah, 11.
We left.
Yeah, this
Zane
is-
got picked up because they were going out.
Oh my god. So this is Heath trying to get them out of the box suite because, like, the people need to come in and clean it up and stuff because they need to go home for the night because they're minimum wage workers probably that just want to go home because they're tired, and you guys are just being inconsiderate and so drunk and partying. So yeah, this part's gonna be super interesting here. So this is where they all split up for the night.
And then
You cared so
Fucking piece of shit.
much. You
And it's crazy.
What did you want me to do? Go home and think
no,
about it?
the whole time he's not saying anything, and we're trying to find this Uber area for pickup, right? I'm thinking we're all calling Ubers. We walk into the
So for context, Remy and Alisha are going upstairs to the SoFi infirmary, like their little like medic area, so that Alisha can sleep off the alcohol more or whatever. And here, Heath and Mariah and Zane, they're going out to the Uber area. They're splitting up from them, so they're going to go get their Ubers. Let's see what happens. This is interesting.
Uber area. And then we're like, okay, this is where we got to be. Zane and Todd keep walking. I'm like, guys, the Uber area is here. Where are you going? And they just kept walking. And I'm like, you're going the wrong way.
It's because he was. I didn't want to go. This is the only way to go to our next spot. But
Yeah, I think Zane. I think really what happened here. I think at this point of the night, I think Heath and Mariah were done with Alisha. Alisha spent the whole night in the bathroom. She just showed up, drank, and spent the whole night in the fucking bathroom. I think Zane was over it as well. Because, like, they're having to take care of Alisha again, drunk again, at an event thing again. And Zane just walks off with Todd, who I don't know who the fuck Todd is. But he just walks off with Todd. Just walks off with Todd. Doesn't say goodbye to Heath or Mariah. Just keeps walking. Like, what the hell? Yeah. For one, it's rude. Two, it's like, you're not that drunk that you just walk off. But it just seemed like, to me, he was just done. He was just over it. And he was like, okay, I'm moving on. I'm done.
we were getting picked up by his friend. And I really
sure.
did not feel like we were going to find this person. This person was like on the other side of the stadium.
It's
and,
huge.
Yeah, we
and this
zeroed
person
in on
had like
finding our
three,
ride.
like had just 3 spots in the back.
This
I was
sounds
like,
like
He said,
excuses.
bye, Heath.
I was like,
Yeah,
just kept
pace.
walking.
Yeah.
and I knew you guys wanted to go home. You guys weren't trying to go out, right?
I wanted to keep going. The night was fun.
Oh my god.
You wanted to keep going?
He's saying that because Heath hasn't been drinking at all that night. Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad? They just assumed because Heath wasn't drinking with them, Heath and Mariah, that they just wanted to go home and be boring old people. Can you see the division starting with this friend group and stuff? Like, yeah. I think Heath and Mariah are starting to mature, and because they're looking to get married, start a family and whatnot. Their mindset's a lot different. I don't know about Remy. Remy should be having the same mindset, but I don't know. Yeah, this was just kind of awkward, this the whole like how Zane just kept going with Todd and just uses the excuse we're trying to find a ride. It just sounded like everybody was fed up because of Alisha.
No. No, I was done.
Okay. But
But the
Yeah,
night's
I'm
nice.
sure you
Yeah.
were done.
It was nice to be invited.
am I
Just turn around
but
and
he-
say like, no, it's okay. I have a ride.
I didn't walk away like, see ya, suckers. I walked away like, we're so like we're not gonna find this person. We're gonna be stranded, and then you guys are gonna end up getting out of here while we find this friend.
I think
because
he was
I knew
like,
there was
see ya,
no way.
suckers.
We ended up finding this friend like 15 minutes later, and for somehow we got out of there.
Yeah, you got really lucky because you want
Got
to know what
really
happened to
lucky.
me? We called probably 4 Ubers. All of them are getting canceled. We finally get one guy that sticks with it, and they close the entrances to get into the Uber drop-off. So we had to walk completely out.
Oh, I figured that you guys would have walked out of the stadium. That's like the best thing
you
to
can't-
do when
you can't call an Uber from anywhere near
What a cluster.
without being
We
at the
wouldn't have been
Uber
able to
pickup
get you
area.
out.
Wait,
You ever been to
Exactly.
LA for
You
events?
can't set a pin outside of it. So we had one guy that was finally trying to work with us, and once he got blocked off and couldn't get in, you have to go.
The other reason why they're so, like, also, like, we have to get an Uber, not because it's cheaper than, like, getting a taxi or something, because remember, these are influencers. They could afford to take a taxi home. These influencers could afford to take a taxi home. Really what it is that a lot of them, and I've showed this off too, is that in their description boxes, a lot of them will have a code, an affiliate code for Uber. So for anybody who uses their little affiliate code to get a free ride or whatever, they get a free ride for referring someone to Uber. So he has a bunch, and Zane and all of them have a bunch of like free Uber rides. Remy and them, they have a bunch of Uber rides. So they're more likely to do like Uber rides than like Lyft rides or like those types of things. Plus, like also to around a lot of these like stadiums or places, they'll have the special Uber pickup or taxi pickup. But I do know that there are certain places where Uber can't go because of it's just supposed to be taxis. If you know what I'm saying. Like there's some places like certain airports where Uber can't go. You have to have, it has to be a taxi. And I think that has something to do with like certifications or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, there is something between like the whole taxis rivaling with like Uber, and it's a whole thing. But yeah, these fools over here, they have free Uber rides. So that's why they have to be able to get themselves an Uber, and they're trying so hard to get the guy to work with them because they have free Uber rides. Just
all
saying.
the way around. So the traffic was absolutely absurd. So we walked across to like this like Chinese restaurant that was like on a corner, and we're like, hey, don't go to the Uber pickup pin, go to this Chinese restaurant. And I gave him the address to that. He's like, it's going to take me a long time. He's like, this is like absurd right now. And we're like, I'm so sorry. Like, just bear with us.
Was it at
all
least
of a
open?
sudden, we're sitting there waiting, and I'm like, this is insane. I can't believe the guy didn't cancel. But we're waiting. The entire place clears out. All of a sudden, we see an ambulance go by. I'm like, oh my God, Alisha made it out before me.
There's Alisha.
Did her whole hour power
Holding
I'm
up
like,
traffic
pick us up.
because she had alcohol. That is Alisha holding up traffic, holding up people getting home because she chose to have alcohol poisoning. This is entitlement right here, guys. Like, let me see if I can get back.
The entire place clears out. All of a sudden, we see an ambulance go by. I'm like, oh my God.
Yep. This is some first class entitlement right here. That Alisha, look at all of the inconvenienced people for the evening. Because Alisha chose to drink this night. To the point where she couldn't walk. Her dogs are at home. She had to get other people to wake up in the middle of the night and go feed her and check on her dogs. Remy was in there the whole night taking care of her. These EMTs having to go and get her. An ambulance taking her to the hospital. The people who really needed the medical attention being delayed. These people in traffic wanting to go home, like hundreds of thousands of people from SoFi Stadium, all because Alisha chose to get drunk. This is some entitlement here. She must really think she's Cher, that she has to cover her face, and it's okay. She gets carted off like this, like a princess, because she can't walk because she chose to get too drunk.
Alisha made it out before me. Did her
Yeah,
whole
because
hour
she thinks she's
power.
like, pick us up.
a queen,
I
like Foodie
literally
Beauty.
watched it go by, and I'm like, there's
This
no
is
way.
some
Fact that
Foodie
I
Beauty
really
shit.
hope that was us. Like, I really hope it's the exact same one.
No,
Did you get
you
it?
don't
Did you get?
understand.
Did you get a
No,
video
it
of
probably
it?
was.
I didn't get back to her house to get my car until like 2 in the morning.
What?
2 in the
We
morning.
were outside.
2 in the morning to get his car. It took him getting to his car from there at like this probably got out at midnight. So it took him like 2 hours to get home. Because Alisha held up traffic. Wow.
sitting
Okay,
there
wow.
For hours.
We were like.
I know
out,
it's LA,
we were back,
but
like home
I
by
know.
2.
Wow.
You went out and partied.
And then went home before you got home.
So they block off
Wow.
like the roads, and they like single file the lines. So the only people like, dude, it was
Wow.
crazy.
Also, like,
That
it
is
was
crazy.
an hour after the concert. Like we
More
waited for
than
a
that.
long time. Yeah.
Luke knows how to
Also,
throw a party.
Another
huh?
thing, like there was like people
Wow.
that kept driving by, like like those fake sketchy Ubers that say
Yeah,
like
you
Yeah.
right, you
Uber,
right.
and they kept offering rides. I'm like, no, we have somebody. Also, this guy has put in so much time that we've
Yeah.
been waiting for. I'm like, I am not going to cancel on this guy.
Yeah.
He's been driving for like 45 minutes trying to loop around. I'm like, I'm not canceling.
Aw.
What you
then,
don't
like-
know is that he turned it on already.
You better
He
give him
turned
a
it-
fat
Turn on- I
cash
would've
tip
turned on
that he
that
doesn't
ride.
have to
I
report.
almost wanted him to.
Yeah.
We tipped him so much because I was like, this guy literally spent all
Good.
night trying to do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, we finally got
Yeah.
home, and I'm like, wow, that was insane. We should I would have paid for
That
an
was
ambulance
insane.
myself.
To get out of there.
I'll let you know
Yeah,
going.
take it from someone
So
who's having
okay,
a
so
life
then the next thing I
threatening
remember
medical
is
problem.
being asked again, which I'm assuming this is in the SoFi doctor because they took us to the medical thing at SoFi.
They wheeled you out.
The infirmary.
And,
Never thought I'd hear that. They wheeled you out.
Also, just picture
and at this
like she
point,
just got out of surgery,
everybody
but
had
remember,
cleared.
she's drunk.
na, na,
She
na,
chose this.
na.
Everyone had cleared out. It was just paramedics and it's like security people for SoFi and the bartenders. They were like closing out the bars, and so they walk us to an elevator.
you would recognize
and
the
we literally get
bartenders.
walked up to another stretcher, and all of the like paramedics like fist bumping each other, being like, "Did you try this tonight?" Like they're just like they're so casual.
Yeah, because this is their job. They do this all the time, Remy. Like I remember this, like this kind of thing. Like you'd see other people, and yeah, and this is the kind of cool part about when you get to be an EMT and stuff like that. Is yeah, you're getting paid minimum wage to take care of people like Alisha who get too drunk or whatever, or be in some of these really, not good situations. But if you're an EMT and you're working the medic thing over here at like SoFi Stadium, you get to see some concerts and stuff. And yeah, sometimes you do get to turn the lights on and drive real fast, down the freeway and shit and feel like a badass. But, sometimes those moments are when you make a difference in a patient's life and you actually save somebody's life, like those are the things that make up for not making the kind of money that these assholes make doing, nothing but getting shit-faced. Yeah.
It's their day-to-day
Which is-
job.
but I was gonna say, like, obviously we have
That's
the
their
utmost
day-to-day
respect
job.
for all healthcare workers, and I always have. But like seeing it in person, they're so calm and cool and collected and nice and helpful and all these things.
Because
and so
it's
I was
their
obviously, like,
job.
freaking out because like you were like sliding down, and I was like, can we like push her up more? Like, can we like have her there? Can we have her bag? Like, can we get the blanket on her?
That's their job, Remy. They get, yeah, you're trained. You go through training so that you can stay calm in those situations. It's designed that way. And you should have a lot of respect for them. If you have a heart attack, if you have a stroke, if you get in a bad car accident, that's who's coming to save your fucking ass. So you should have a lot of respect for those people.
And they're just like chit chatting, like, cause it's a
Yeah.
normal
Oh,
night for them,
especially
especially at
after a concert.
SoFi. Especially
is a
there.
normal
And
night,
so
yes.
they take us to, and so I'd asked.
Dude, imagine Super Bowl.
oh,
like,
I can't
afterwards.
even
Oh yeah, they probably have a
imagine.
ton
That's
ready.
crazy.
I can't even imagine. And they were just so nice and so helpful. And so when
Take doing 4th of July night shift. All those people, yeah. Or what else? Coachella. Like I said, Coachella, all the people coming in. ODs, a lot of ODs. Same thing with Stagecoach. You get a lot of people dehydrated, a lot of drunk people. Yeah, imagine all that crap. Imagine going to car accidents where, there's like family and little kids and they're hurt. Very hurt. Can you imagine that? No, I don't know if you can. Let's continue.
we were leaving the suite, I had asked them, like, what do we do now? Like, does she need to go to the hospital? Like, where do we go? Because she can't walk yet. Like, I can't get her to an Uber. We don't know what to do. And they're like, oh, we have a hospital here. I was like, amazing.
Wait, on site?
It's
They
not
have a
really a
hospital.
hospital. It's
So
just
they
like
take us
crazy.
up
It's
in
good.
the
It makes
elevator.
sense, though. It makes
Thing
so
for
much
people.
sense.
Yeah.
Cedar
Alicia will get
Sinai.
you
There's literally like signage on the doors. And so they walk us into the hospital, and it's just like a room at the SoFi Stadium. And they like wheel you in the stretcher, and you're just sleeping. You're
Yeah.
just like
It was-
relaxing.
I'm not gonna lie, I've never been in a stretcher before. It was so comfortable. Like
Oh,
that's
it's
all. I
very
was like,
comfy.
I can't walk. Like this is I want
It's
this.
like a hammock.
Yeah, it's
On a
comfy.
beach.
They do a good
Hawaii.
job.
So they will
like
you in. You
Tempur-Pedic.
get your own.
Here's the thing. She was in that stretcher. Okay, like, honestly, if you're in an accident, you're going to be put on a backboard. That's not, you'll be put on a backboard and then put on the stretcher. That's not comfortable. It is a stiff-ass board designed to help save your spine from being more fucked up. And you will have a neck collar put on. So sometimes, like, those stretchers, depending on how or why you're being picked up, not comfortable. Okay, if you're on a backboard, not comfortable. So yeah, I've done that. I've done that as a patient, and then when I did EMT training, they made us, all like put each other on backboards and stuff, which that is crazy to have yourself like when you're put on the backboard and like they will stand you up. They'll have you stand up to put you on the backboard and put it up to your back. And then all the, firefighters and EMTs and paramedics will help lower you down. And that's really unnerving to have, like, to trust these people not to, like, drop you and shit. And you're on this board and you're all tied in with, like, yeah, it's scary. I don't know. That always freaked me out. But, yeah. Let's
Little, like,
continue.
cubicle with like little, the curtain things.
First class.
And it's just like there's like
Oh, yeah, so
5
special.
people in there.
Yeah, were there
and
a
I'm
lot of
just-
so
other
famous.
people that were in your same situation, like two?
I'm just hearing and smelling vomit the
Oh,
whole
Well, it's a
night.
country
Sorry.
The whole-
concert,
Sorry.
yeah.
I told you, no better person equipped to do this.
I know.
I was like, thank God it's me. And so I'm hearing, all the
Thank
sounds
God
and
it's
things.
me.
And so she,
Thank God I am here to take care of the Alisha Marie while she's sick. So later on, I can have all the kudos points. Yeah.
just sitting there, and the doctor comes up to me, and they're like, "Are you her friend?" I said, "Yes." They said, "Do you have a ride?" And I was like, "I can get a ride, but like, can she just rest for a little bit?" They're like,
Yeah,
"No, we're
'cause you
closing,
can't
so she
drive
either needs to
either."
walk in the next 5 minutes, or she needs an
Ultimatum.
So
Oh,
So
dang.
from my POV, I hear Uber.
My POV.
Clearly, I was like, oh, I don't want to Uber. So I hear Uber or something, and then I hear ambulance, and I was just like, I don't want that. But the bed was so comfy. I was like, this is what I want. Whatever this is, I
Yeah,
want
yeah.
this. So then Remy goes,
I want a $1,500 bill.
She pulls out her card. Just help me.
I tried to slip
Just
the money.
charge
It's
it.
like $2. Okay.
That should do it.
That should do it.
Influencers are
sweetheart.
such-
And they were like,
They're such cheap
and then you
asses.
texted me because I was like, well, if we do take her to the hospital, will she get her stomach pumped? And then the
Yeah,
doctor
yeah.
goes, it's not a real thing.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about this. Okay, so stomach pumping, especially for the alcohol poisoning, they would just probably. I'm not a doctor, and remember, I'm a nursing school dropout, and I was just an EMT. But from what I understand, I think with the alcohol, they would probably just give her a bunch of fluid and stuff. Really, what they're referring to with the stomach pumping here, and this is something I have seen, is that people, if they ingest something like poisoning, like say someone ODs and takes a certain type of pill, usually it's pills, or someone drinks like Drano or like some kind of cleaner, right? We'll do this with little kids too. There's this charcoal fluid that they will make them drink, and if they don't drink it, they will put a tube down your throat. Sometimes down your nose, but usually it's down your throat. They'll do the nasal one, and they will put this charcoal stuff through the tube or make you drink it. It's very nasty. And this charcoal mixture will bind to whatever pills or cleaner or whatever poison that was ingested so that you can then pass it. And so, yeah, if that's where the whole idea of a stomach pumping came. The idea, a misnomer is, putting this charcoal fluid down the tube into the stomach, like pumping it in, That's where that kind of came from. Yeah, they would have just given her, I think, a lot of fluids. If someone's ODing, like, on something, a lot of times, though, like, where they're dying, like, passing out, like, we have a lot of we have the opiate crisis going on. You guys all hear about that. Well, there's Narcan. So like usually a nurse will push Narcan. Medics will carry it on board. We had it, but the medic would be the one who did any kind of like IV medication pushes, things like that. I just did more like driving, life-saving, the shit work, you know? But yeah, that is a misnomer, the whole stomach pumping thing. That's not a real thing. Even you've heard the whole rock star thing, going to another country to get your blood clean or your blood swapped out. That too's not real as well. So yeah, let's continue.
This blew my mind.
What do you mean it's not a real thing?
That's what he told me, because he was
How
like,
did
is she
that
going to get her
blow
stomach
your
pumped? I was like,
mind?
fun fact, not a real thing.
I was like, there's no way.
Wait, no, that's
That is the
my
thing
my
with, like-
friend. She got alcohol poisoning. They had to pump her stomach.
Apparently, it's a myth. They
No.
don't do
That's
it.
what this doctor told me.
So what are they doing that people think
Maybe
it's a stomach
making you
pump?
throw up. Maybe like enforcing vomit.
I don't know.
And maybe
No,
it's
they're
just
giving
you
you the
weren't at the
charcoal
level in which you
substance.
needed that.
Yeah.
Because again, you were like,
I was
you were
fine. Shut
fine.
up.
You just
You
couldn't.
said you were good.
You just couldn't walk yet.
Okay. So then I remember hearing Uber.
They would have
ambulance.
just given her a
They were
bunch
like,
of fluid.
even if she goes to the hospital, literally the nurse
To
goes, it's just a
have her
really
pass the
expensive nap.
alcohol.
And I was like, okay, I'll try and get her in a car then. And I like kept asking, and you just like did not want to.
Again.
Yeah, they probably have
Stone.
to say it so you can't be like, you forced me to pay for
Yeah.
this ambulance.
That's
Yeah.
true, yeah,
Also,
yeah,
when
yeah.
it's
Like,
like,
no, we
that
gave you
we're
the
closing,
option.
it's like obviously like there's
Yeah.
real emergencies, and I clearly wasn't one. So then
Yeah,
I go
obviously, like I've been saying.
like ambulance, and Rem goes,
No, yeah, take me
you
in the
want to
ambulance.
call an ambulance? Like, bitch, are you fucking sure you know what you're saying? And I go, yeah.
Run
The
it
next
up.
thing I know, run it up. The next
So,
thing I know, I'm in an
Remember, the paramedics and the EMTs that are taking care of her at the SoFi Stadium are gonna be a different agency than's coming to get her. So the ambulance that's coming to get her, is gonna be a different agency. Now, depending on where you live and stuff, sometimes it's a private ambulance company, and sometimes it's the fire department. Now, sometimes in certain counties or certain cities where you live, if the fire department comes to get you, that is paid publicly and that is free. Sometimes, but most of the time, if an ambulance comes to get you and it's a private ambulance company, they're going to charge you. Like, so you guys have probably seen AMR, American Medical Response. They're one of the bigger private ambulances companies in America. But yeah, that costs money. It's like, I remember $1,500 when I was there, but it's probably like more like $2,000 or $3,000 now. Let's be real. So yeah, those things are not cheap. That's why they're for emergencies. They're for someone who's like, you know, having a heart attack, a stroke, some kind of other medical emergency, something where they can't get them into the car. Remember, she's just needing to nap off the alcohol. They don't even need to give her the charcoal mixture. They don't need to put her on an IV. They just need her to, you know, get home so she can sleep it off. Like, and she's tying up the ambulance system because she's so drunk.
You came to in the ambulance?
I pretty much came to in the ambulance.
You did, because that's when you were like,
That's what I was
I had not
Mm-hmm.
gotten any content, obviously, because
No,
it was serious.
I'm gonna preface this to everyone. I'm so glad that you guys knew what my wish would be. That I would have wanted, even if I was like, you made sure I was fine, and then you got some
We
footage.
weren't
I'm
going
glad
too
you knew
crazy
my-
with it. We just got a couple like
There's
we
My
know- we
wish.
knew that-
I'm
There are
glad
some
you know that. I'm
hidden
okay with
gems
people
in there.
breaking.
I only started capturing
Consent.
once you were like, once you had come to and you were making jokes. Once
Oh,
you were
yeah.
making jokes, I was like, she's gonna want this.
Yeah.
Up until then, I was like, we do not need to memorialize anything up until that point.
Yeah, exactly.
And so,
no, when I'm
Even
in
though
that situation,
Zane was doing it for you.
memorialize it
monetize
the
that.
whole time.
even if it's just for us, you
And
know.
so, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I was like, we don't need to. I didn't know we were gonna
There's
make this
one
podcast
photo-
to be
It's
fully
just for
honest.
us.
Photo Zane
See how
took,
she
and you
slipped
see his
that in
reflection
there?
in the mirror, and he looks like the proudest co-host
Yeah.
you've ever seen.
Yeah, that's a
I didn't
bad
realize it,
optic
but
there,
I looked at my hand and I
especially
was
coming from the
smiling,
vlog
like-
squad.
Oh man, that's funny.
I literally remember that moment being like, make everyone laugh. Like, we need to like lighten the situation.
You're like,
I'll say we're at the SoFi Hospital, and so there's so many people around. Everyone in their cowboy hats and cowboy boots. Everyone around, and we're waiting. So they're like, "Okay, she wants the ambulance." So we're just sitting, waiting. I'm in this little plastic chair next to you, and I'm
Waiting
like,
for
"Oh
the
my god, it's been so
ambulance
chaotic up
because
until this
there's
point.
other
Like, truly, so
emergencies
much
going on.
chaos."
It's
And then
Saturday night in LA.
and I was like, "This."
Just think about this. Saturday night in LA. Stabbings, shootings, domestic violence, on top of medical emergencies like heart attacks and strokes, aneurysms. Women going into pre-labor and freaking out. That's another thing too, is delivering babies. I've seen life come into this world and I've seen it leave. But Alicia's so drunk, she has to take one of those ambulances out of service for her so she can have a ride to the hospital because she decided to get too drunk. Like, this is some entitled shit. This is some influencer entitled shit.
Bitch. This bitch.
Well,
Yeah,
she's gonna
fucking
enjoy
bitch.
it.
Is
As she
right.
should.
Yeah.
And I was happy for you,
I
and I
wish
was
we both
happy you were
could've fit on
resting.
the stretcher.
I wish we both could have napped.
So
The sirens. Lonely Will.
So wait, so they take you to a hospital though. So the ambulance takes you to a real hospital.
yeah, and we were in there for a minute.
Yeah.
Yes. So the ambulance takes her, or so again, they come in, they pull a bigger stretcher next to you, they lift your limp ass body.
That's the one I felt.
Bed upgrade.
Yeah, that's the one I felt.
They're like, this one's going to the hospital. I was like,
See, the other thing too, that looks like the one with hydraulics. Yeah, some of these have hydraulics on them, these stretchers. I remember that. But then some of them don't. Those are the peachy ass fucking. I didn't like those. And then, like, I'd always have trouble getting it to, like, unhook from the ground when you go to lift it up. It's such a pain in the ass. But the hydraulic ones are nice. And then you don't have to do that. It just kind of lifts up from the ground area to the top. And it just, like, pops up and the hydraulics. It's great. It's easier to get it into the ambulance. I call it the rig, but it's able to get into the rig easier. It's just great. But yeah, look at that. They have her face covered like she's Cher. Oh my god. Like, yeah, this is them taking her to the hospital because she's so drunk. And like, remember, these EMTs, paramedics, they do this all the time. This is not new. She's just another drunk. She's just another drunk girl. This isn't like the famous Alisha Marie, oh, we're taking it. No, it's just another drunk woman. Let's
this one right here.
continue.
And so I'm filling out your paperwork. We
Thank
put you on
you.
the stretcher, and then we wheel you out, and then they're wheeling you to the ambulance. And so we're walking, and at this point, I'm like, she's gonna want this photo of her getting lifted
Insert
up.
Yeah, she's totally
And
going to
so
want
we
that photo.
put you in
took
the
it without
ambulance, and I've never
consent.
ridden in an ambulance before. My
me
God, my
cool.
God. Pretty cool. And also because like it wasn't obviously, I understand like ambulances like in a very stressful situation are like can be a lot.
Yeah.
But Alisha then comes
Yeah.
to, and so there's one paramedic driving, one paramedic in the back. We got the nicest, sweetest paramedics.
I wish I
they
knew
were
his name.
they were living for you.
I thought
His
you
name
were,
was
I
James.
thought you were about to say
Yay.
Always nice
the nicest
people.
paramedic truck. Like you paid for an
We got
upgrade.
the-
It's got, it's got starlights, like the Rolls Royce room.
I wish.
Fog machine. And so we're in there and, we're going and we take off. You are like in the bed facing obviously outside the window. So I was wondering, if anybody's like, because there's so much traffic parked behind, I was like, I wonder if they could see her face. Yeah.
Yes,
and so
they can.
I'm
they
sitting
could
in the
see
chair
inside
facing
with
out,
the
like
lights
facing
on.
you. And then James is on the side. And
Sweet James.
he was they were genuinely so nice. And so at this point, I'm quiet. I haven't said anything because we're not talking. All of a sudden, we're driving. All of a sudden, I hear this voice go, I could have had a Chanel for the price of this Uber.
Yep. That's true. She could have had a designer purse for the price of that ambulance. That's what that cost. The privilege to be able to just You know, like some people will get that bill for having a heart attack and think, wow, how the fuck am I going to pay for this? And Alicia, you know, just, oh yeah, I'm too drunk to, you know, get in an Uber, so I'm just going to pay what it costs for a Chanel bag to get a ride to the ambulance and get a ride to the hospital, which you are going to get an ER bill too, Alicia, which that won't be cheap either. So, yeah. Let's continue.
Did not.
Gee.
First full sentence out of her mouth since the train lyrics. And I'm like, oh my God. So obviously I start filming this and James is loving it. He's laughing so hard.
I'm so glad I could
He
make
was
his
so
night.
nice. No, he was laughing. And then you go, Rem, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You should
Are
be
they
sorry.
at least hot? And I was like, Alisha, I'm an engaged woman. I can't answer. Keep in mind, I'm still drunk too.
Also, there's only
During
one.
all-
Which Alicia doesn't. Remy, we've seen you flirt with guys. We've seen some shit, Remy. Okay, like, first of all, the whole I'm an engaged woman. We've seen you say shit. We've seen you go through those dating apps with Alicia. Okay, like, First and second of all, quit objectifying like firefighters and police officers and EMTs and paramedics and stuff. Like, oh, he's hot. He's a firefighter. Like, they're doing their job. And most of the time, too, they have girlfriends. They're married. They have families. Ew. Please stop. Please stop. These are people just trying to do their job. And here you are, like, kind of like harassing them while they're just trying to do their job. Please stop.
Guy there too.
Yes, I
Are
know.
they hot?
Are they at least
But you're drunk,
hot?
so,
I was like, I
I
can't answer
mean-
that, Alicia. You go, yeah. You know, if I'm paying for this, I would at least hope the sirens would be on. And then the paramedic driving turns the sirens on. You go,
No, he
you
did.
go, woo, yeah.
Wow.
He probably just
I'm not
hit the
paying.
button.
Whatever this is gonna cost me
Wow.
to not have a siren.
Do you ever have people in here talking like this?
What?
Yeah,
It's
see, he
normal.
just pushed the button. See, he just pushed there's a little button. Most of the time, they don't drive with the sirens on because it can be a lot. They usually just run the sirens when you're going through an intersection to let oncoming traffic know. And the sirens are they're designed a special way to blast the sound into the oncoming traffic, and so the lights are too. So normally, like, you'll see these, like, the ambulance getting onto the freeway, and it's like wee wee, and then they turn it off, and you're like, these assholes getting on the freeway and they're turning off their sound. Why are they doing that? Because it's almost just like, it's pointless a lot of the times. Most people can't even hear them anyways. It's more about like seeing, and that's why those flashers are on there, so that like it catches people's attention and whatnot. Also for people who are hard of hearing as well. So it's just, it can be a distraction a lot of times. It's more of a safety going through intersections, just to make sure that you're warning oncoming traffic or people who might not be paying attention and whatnot. So yeah, let's continue.
You didn't see that one?
I got.
The other thing too is we'll do a lot of times as well. You'll see them just like taking a patient and they're just driving to the hospital. Usually you don't drive through traffic with the sirens on, unless there's like an emergency and they call it like, I can't remember, it was like a code 3 or something. I can't remember the code name, but it was calling a code, and you call ahead to they've already called ahead to the hospital to let them know that they're coming in the ETA. But usually, like, if you're doing CPR on something, it's a code, and so you're driving as fast as you can, or, you know, there was an accident and someone's bleeding and stuff like that, and it's a life-saving. We're trying to get them to the doctor as fast as the hospital. That's when you usually see them call a code, and they're driving, and they're going in and out of traffic, creating their own lane. You create your own lanes when you drive an ambulance. So they're, you know, just going all over the place as safely as possible and treating every intersection like a 4-way stop. There's sometimes where I've heard them in certain situations, stories where they were like, yeah, we were doing 100 on the we were going over 100 miles an hour on the freeway because we were trying to get this little baby to the hospital so it didn't die, like, type deal. So, like, it's usually in life-threatening emergencies where you will have the ambulance, the lights on, and then the sirens going when they go through, you know, like the intersections or whatnot. But yeah, also too, having the sirens on can, if someone's already having like heart distress or something, can be a lot. So yeah.
I got video
That's
of all this.
really
So
funny.
literally, I'm like, I'm not paying whatever I'm paying to not have the sirens
sirens
on.
on.
And then you hear it go, but not for long. It's like, woo, because obviously he can't have it on if it's not a real
Well, he
ass
couldn't.
emergency.
Also, he couldn't get through
Right.
that, and also like there was so much traffic we couldn't get through anyway.
And I was like, woo! Like, I was just like, I was like, oh, this is so fucking embarrassing. And then I was like, oh,
It is
Zane and
embarrassing.
Heath were there. Oh, fuck. They think I probably do this all the fucking time. Literally, I
Because
was
you
like,
do.
oh, shit.
my
Like,
favorite
shit.
part when I walked out was like seeing, like, I knew they were there obviously, and I knew they wouldn't care, and like everyone was fine. My favorite was like panning to see Todd, and I was like, fuck, Todd's here. that was the one. I was like, damn it.
I still don't know who
You
that
could not
is.
be here.
Let
But
me
you
know
know
in
what?
the comments.
Bonding.
Team bonding was great.
And
And,
so,
and
yeah.
it was a
Bonding.
bonding experience. I feel like it,
It
brought
really
us all
was.
closer.
Like-
We got to see how we react in emergency situations.
Yes.
I think we did really
We
well
did.
in that situation.
They
Everybody
just
had
Cut
a
to
had
him
task.
at a bar later.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
I did so well at my duty, so I went to celebrate your life.
Thank you so much. My favorite part is I was like,
Wow.
damn, like, we
Look at Rosie there. Look at the dog's expression. Like, the dog can't even believe this. Look at her expression. Like, the dog looks so serious. Like, really, like, I was at home, bitch. Look at this. Like, Alisha, this is who you're responsible for. That and Chloe. And you were responsible for her that night. And you let her down. You let Rosie down. Like, look at her. She's just thinking, like, this isn't funny. I was at home. I had to potty really bad. I miss my mama. Poor Rosie. Look at that face. Just think about what you're doing when you do this to your dog. Like, she deserves better, for sure. Rosie's a good girl. She deserves
like,
better.
how far was that? Like, what hospital did we go to? Like, it felt like it was so far.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you'll know when you get the bill.
No
I
way.
was literally across
Wow.
the street.
They could have walked you on the
Like,
stretcher.
literally.
Because of the
So I don't
traffic.
know
Think
how
about
have,
it.
you're so
oh,
right.
Dan, if I was me, in my head, like, oh, I'm so close to home. Like, in my head, I'd be like, oh, yeah, they brought me to a hospital right near my house.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
well,
probably
they
still had to
charged you
Uber
for an
home.
ambulance ride to go across the
well,
street.
because my dumbass said,
Yeah.
yes, I want an
They
ambulance.
told us that we were gonna go
used the
closer to your
service.
house, and we were in the ambulance for like 20 minutes or so. So I figured we were like
Going there?
Yeah.
No, usually they'll go to the closest hospital. It's usually the closest hospital, unless there's like a reason, like there's a special like unit or a trauma unit, or your insurance, you're being transported, or basically like it's not an emergency situation and your insurance isn't taken at the nearest hospital, so you're gonna go to the next one. There's a lot of reasons for it. It usually has to do with insurance or whatever, but most of the time, if that's not, they'll take you to the closest hospital because they need to get back out on the road. There's other emergencies going on. There's other things happening. You're not a priority.
Also, I was too busy like listening to what you were saying to pay
Yeah, yeah.
attention, and little did I know we were so. I didn't even know where we were when we
It's
got
just
there.
traffic.
God.
Yeah, so much traffic.
Because you were drunk,
and then,
too.
yeah, they wheeled you in, and they just left you in the hallway, and we were just like to the side,
what
and
happens.
all of the.
In emergency rooms, especially probably in LA, that are so backed up. Everybody knows if you've been in an emergency room, backed up, crazy waiting and stuff. A lot of times they don't even have enough beds for patients, so or those little rooms. So yeah, they will put someone who's a lower priority, who's just sleeping it off, like Alisha needs to be, monitored. They're gonna just put her in the hallway, easy peasy, right there. As soon as she's ready to go, the nurses can just discharge her, easy.
people that were working there, all the nurses and everything, they were all so nice and funny. Like I was just chit chatting with them the whole night
Yeah,
we were just
because
like
they're hanging
sleeping.
Yeah,
out.
because
This
they
is their
watched the
job.
vlog.
They're
Oh
there
my
all the
god, they
time.
were being they were so funny. They were just like gossiping with me because
Yeah.
they make everybody
how
sit in the
that
lobby,
is.
but they let me sit next to you.
Oh.
And so,
Oh, they'll
and they
let
were just
one
like,
people-
"Oh my
one
god,"
person come
we
back.
we walk in our cowboy boots. Like literally, all you can see are your cowboy boots coming from the side of the stretcher.
Adam is like my
Is
whole
there
face
no, like,
covered. There's no place that home.
And so, and like we walk in. There's so many stretchers around with everybody's in cowboy boots.
That's so
like
funny.
and so
I'm sure every single concert.
Yeah,
this
that's
happens to
so
them.
normal.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, then that's what they said. So one of the paramedics comes up and he's like, "What concert were you at?" And I was like, "Luke Combs." He was like, "It's so easy to tell what concert was going on because everyone will come in
Yep.
wearing
Oh,
like something that matches
Beyonce,
the theme."
everyone's like
And
Right.
glitter and like
glitter
silver.
and stuff. Taylor Swift, everyone has like they're like. I'm sure it's so obvious.
Did they
It
have
was-
different eras and different rings?
Yeah, yeah,
She had
We're
no
gonna have
idea.
the red era in here,
Yeah.
and then the
You're like, oh,
Reputation.
Fearless needs to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's gone crazy.
The guy was like, "Yeah," he's like, "Honestly, like this," and I was like, "Is it like always crazy like this?" And he was like, "Honestly, this is a chill night." He's like, "Yesterday we had someone who tried to jump people on a plane, and the FBI came to the hospital." Yeah, he was giving me all the tea. And so
Yeah.
as
They
soon
see
as
the
we
craziest
real
stuff.
and they're so
emergencies.
calm and nice about it. When we wheeled you in, they were just like, immediately as soon as you got there, the doctor came up and was like, "She's good to go. Whenever you want to call."
Yeah. He was like, I don't even know why the bitch is here. He just walked up and he's like, I don't know why this bitch is here. She's wasting space. This could be a bed for someone who's really sick or having heart problems right now. Just hurry up and get her out of here. Like, he was probably kind of pissed that she was there. Like, these are usually the people we make fun of after they go away, it's just, you're tying up the medical system, just like, Foodie Beauty would do in Canada, going to the ER for no reason, or a reason you made yourself. Remember Foodie Beauty ate all that cheese and had a mental health crisis with eating all the cheese, and then had to go to the fucking ER for eating all this cheese. This is like the same thing. This is like the person who has the edibles and gets so high they have to go to the ER. There's nothing they're going to do for you except maybe give you an anxiety med or something. Frustrating.
Where they're
Let's
like,
continue.
Did they put you on IV or anything?
No,
Or did
No
you get
IV.
any
because she was
fluids?
okay.
someone pricked my finger.
They did at SoFi. They check your vitals. Yeah.
I was like, I woke up and I was like, ow.
no, it was actually a fingerprint because she's getting arrested. Hey, yeah,
It's
right
probably
here.
your
They
blood
did
sugar
something with
making
my
sure she
finger.
wasn't having a diabetic
And so it was just
coma or
crazy
something.
because they
'Cause she's
came in like
passing
basically
out.
said you could leave, but you didn't want to leave yet. So they wheeled you to a different part of the hospital to just sleep.
Aw.
And so I was just like sitting there waiting.
Sorry.
And it's fine. I was posting all my stories like nothing happened. I was like, last night was a movie.
You like
Oh my
draft your
God,
next
no.
post.
Last night.
Best night ever.
No, it was not a
So I'm
movie,
just
like-
posting my
You guys
stories.
scheduling all your TikToks to go live.
This was a
Literally. And so
movie.
as I'm like
Bitch.
sitting there, it's just so crazy because all of these hospital staff are so used to seeing obviously crazy things. And this is not the first time I've been to the ER with a friend in like the wee hours of the
Yeah.
night. And it's like the emergency room was obviously always scary, but it's really obviously it's really sad and crazy because like crazy things come
Yeah,
in,
it is
like
really
I'm sure
sad
like
and
car
crazy.
accidents and things, especially like in the late hours
Yes.
of the night.
Actual emergency.
It was
Yes,
really
and
sad.
you were tying
And
that
so
up.
when I'm sitting there and just sitting, like they're so nice. This like old man who was working there is literally wheeling a stretcher with a guy who is screaming in pain, like screaming nonstop. And he like wheels by, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like trying to make myself small so he can get through. And he's literally like with the stretcher here, holding him. The guy's screaming. He's like, "Hey, sweetie." I was like, "Hi." He was like, "What concert did you
Wow.
go to?" And the guy's like, "Ah!"
As the guy's
Oh
screaming.
my
as he's
gosh.
screaming in a brace, like a body brace, screaming. And I didn't want to be rude, obviously, but I also was like, I feel like he has things to tend to. And he's like, "Hi, sweetie." I was like, "Hi." And he's like, "What concert did you go to?" I was like, "Luke Combs." He's like, "More of a rock guy myself." And I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Queen."
me
You ever
too.
heard of
Oh,
him?
this guy's
Full
that's
conversation.
Yes, Queen.
And I kept being like, "I'm sure, like, so nice to meet you." And he kept like chatting. He's like, "I love Queen."
Yeah, see, I've seen this happen. Like, okay, like some patients, like, they're on pain medication, but like they're still complaining and stuff like that. Like, I've seen that, and Yeah, I've seen this. Like, some people will get numb to, like, patients, like, being on the stretcher. He was probably just kind of groaning in pain. And this guy was probably... he was probably screaming in pain and whatnot, but this guy was probably waiting to take him in for, like, an x-ray or a CT scan or something, and that's why he was stopping to chat with her. Usually, a lot of times, the MRI, CT scan, and all that is right over by the ER because, well, for emergencies and stuff, it's easier for them to get somebody in there if they have to do a CT scan, if, you know, like, something really serious happens, like, you know, a pew-pew and whatnot, or... you know, someone being shanked and whatnot. So, yeah. I've seen that. Yeah, this is their job. Sometimes, you know, that will happen where some medical people will kind of get numb to that stuff. But, yeah, this is their job. This is what they're here for, Remy. Like, yeah. He was just being friendly. And, yeah, I agree. Queen, more of a rock.
Somebody pushes over the side.
Yeah, one second.
He rolls.
So I can't hear you. 1 second.
He's like, I love Queen. You know, I've seen them 6 times with Freddie in concert. I was like, 6 times? And then I saw Adam Lambert. I was
That's
like, I love
cool.
Adam Lambert on American Idol.
Oh my God,
We're
Mia.
you're also right
I wasn't
right
hearing any
next
of
to
that.
him. And the guy's screaming, and he's just like, yeah, like, you know what I love about Adam? He doesn't try to be Freddie. And I was like, you know what? I always say the same thing. So we're just having a full conversation.
Never said that in your life.
Fine, nope. But I do love Adam Lambert. So he wheels him away. I'm waiting, and then like at 5-minute intervals for about an hour, I'm like, let's go. Like, it's time to go. 5 more minutes. I'm like, okay, sit down. 5 minutes. It's time to go. 5 more minutes. I'm like, okay, it's time to go. And so finally,
probably could not
around like
wait to get her
1:30 or
out.
so,
Taking up space
you were ready
for
to
other
go.
people who are
and,
sick.
well, you weren't ready. You said that we could go, and then we did the paperwork, and we got you out of there.
I remember this. Also, I'll be like flat forever, and then the second I'm like, okay, we're going. Shoot up, go up. Like, I walk so quick. I
Yeah,
walked so
you
fucking quick
walked
to that
so
Uber.
fast
And
out.
I had the
She
blankets.
was
I don't
like,
even know if they like.
this was her
they
being
were-
like, oh
Okay,
shit.
I literally had
This
so
really
many. I found them all
happened.
over the house when I got home.
Oh, we didn't even talk about you getting home.
Yep.
We also had the
Oh my
nicest
God.
Uber driver ever. She was so sweet.
That was a
So-
blink.
So she still had to take an Uber home. She still had to get in an Uber still. So we went through all this so Alicia Marie could sober up so they could still get her in an Uber. Like, good God.
For me.
Good God, this
we
has been a
got you
journey.
in the car, and she was like, if she needs to pull over, I was like, thank you so much. And so we got
Because
you
of your
home,
choices.
And when we walk in the door, you storm in and go straight to the couch. But by doing so, you hit your like the motion activated alarm. I've never heard your
Oh my
alarm go
God.
off.
Yeah.
And it's the loudest alarm I've ever heard in my
Oh,
life. I'm not
no.
kidding. Like, I'm not exaggerating. It is the loudest
good.
thing
I
I've
mean,
ever
that'll
heard in my
keep
life.
the
And it's
criminals
blaring.
out.
It's 2 a.m. It's blaring, blaring, blaring
Yeah,
nonstop.
poor
And I'm
neighbors.
like, you don't move from the couch. and you're just like laying
And
there.
it's going
and
on
it's
and you're passed out.
blaring.
Wow. So the alarm is blaring, and Alicia is still so drunk, she's not even responding to it. Wow. Okay.
I can
So,
tune anything out.
I was like,
which
Alicia,
is really bad.
I need the code.
I can tune
so you give
anything
me the
out
code,
when
and I'm
you're
going and I'm
drunk.
putting it in time and time again,
Uh-huh.
30 times, and it's not turning off. And I'm like, I must be doing this wrong.
Oh,
Like, I don't know.
Because it's the
and
wrong
you're just
code,
laying there, and I'm like, Alicia, I
obviously.
need your help. I need your help. So finally, you get up and you start calling the alarm company, and you keep like yelling the code
Oh
at
my
me, and I'm like,
God.
I'm doing it. I'm trying.
You're
I'm
like,
trying.
"It's
I'm like, I'm
not
trying.
working."
Yelling
I'm
at-
trying.
yelling
And
at
then
Remy.
You were like calling them. And
Uh-huh.
you're on the phone for a while.
Oh,
on
I sounded
hold.
so good. I was just like,
Oh, is
yeah,
it because they called you?
yeah, like they'll call me and I had
They're
missed calls,
probably
so I was
used
like,
to
okay, let me
hearing
call them
drunk
first because
people who can't
if
turn
something
their
happens, it
alarms
goes to
off.
me first, then Ashley, and then my mom. So I was like, I don't want them to call my
Oh,
mom.
God.
So I'm like, okay, let me call them first.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're good. And I was like, hi, yeah, I'm so sorry about the alarm. Like, that's me.
And while she's mid talking to them, she comes over, and I've asked her already, you gave me the right code. Yes, Remy, I gave you the right code. Walks over, puts a different code in. It stops. She walks away. And I went, Alicia,
Wow.
Looks at you like,
obviously.
I'm so
and she
sorry.
goes, I went, Alicia, you
Wow.
just put in a different code. She goes, oh.
Wow. See, this is crazy that Alicia can be this, like, entitled, disconnected, that, like, you know, she's been giving her the wrong code the whole time. Because she's obviously drunk. Comes over, puts in a different code, and then proceeds to have like a fucking attitude with Remy about like how Remy couldn't get the wrong code of work. You know, like, get the fuck out, girl.
Oh, I did? Sorry. And then walks away.
Like, muscle
Wow.
memory. Like, in my head, that's the, like, I probably still couldn't tell you
No,
what
that's
it is,
an
but my fingers
excuse
know what it
for
is.
being a bitch
and
to your
it was
friend
also
while
so
you're
loud. I
drunk.
couldn't cover my
See,
ears
true
and do
colors
the
come out
code.
sometimes
No, it's
when
fine. It
you're
was so funny.
drinking.
And then we come in, we take the dogs out, and then you try to go to sleep. And I was like, no.
Wait a minute. Then you take the dogs out. So I wonder if anybody ever came to check on the dogs now. Is that just something you said because you're supposed to be at home taking care of the dogs and you knew this would not go over well? Have you been lying this entire time? Because this is some shit Foodie Beauty would do. Would lie and say that, like, yeah, oh, don't worry, someone was there to take care of the cats, blah, 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 blah. And it wasn't. And we find out it wasn't, actually. And there's dog shit all over the house because you didn't take care of them and what. This is crazy. I bet Remy had someone come over to her house, but nobody came over to take care of poor Rosie over there in the corner. I would place a wager on that. I think I could.
We
Let's
need
continue.
water, we need food, we need shower. So we get you upstairs, we get you in the
Yeah, you
shower.
need a shower.
I turn the water on.
You know, the first thing that came to my head, we did not go to Korea to get K-pop idol skin for me to not take off my makeup. So I go, Remy, can you?
Yeah, because that's how it got
my
bad in the
makeup off?
first
We
place.
washed
was
the
not
body,
taking
we
the
got you
makeup off.
clean. And then
Jane,
it
you
was
couldn't pay me
Just make
any
sure,
amount to
guys. One of my things. Turn off. One of my tips. Okay, like I know I'm not like a beauty guru or anything, and I'm not the most glamorous woman in the world. But as you get older, just make sure you take off your makeup. You wash your makeup off really good, and you use moisturizer, sunscreen when you're out in the sun, so you don't burn. Those are great tips for keeping good skin. Just saying. Just saying.
Absolutely not.
Really?
What?
No.
Wow.
my favorite part was
I would do it for
The
you.
amount of times I've walked in on you.
No. Oh, you know
Make-
what? No. I could see. Okay. Heath and Zane, I could see being little men and taking care of each other. I really could, actually. I could see them doing that. Like, it reminds me of, like, one time I was at one of my appointments, and there was these two little old men. It was like, I think I was getting a colonoscopy or something. And, yeah, because, like, I've had a lot of issues with, like, IBS and remember the pancreatitis and stuff. So I've had to have endoscopies and colonoscopies. Yeah, not fun. That's a whole story time in itself. But, so yeah, I was sitting there and there was these two little old men and one of the little men was having his colonoscopy that day. And then, like, his friend was taking him home and he was saying how, like, the one guy's like, yeah, you could just take me home afterwards. And he's like, no, I'm taking you back to my place and I'm going to put you up in the lazy boy. And I got some fresh cut up pineapple at home. And my wife is making soup for dinner. So that'll be easy on your stomach since you haven't eaten anything. It was just the sweetest thing. And then I remember seeing these two men at Costco. And he was shopping with his friends. And I feel like I could see Zane and Heath being those little old men, So, yeah.
Kid on
continue.
a toilet, passed out drunk, gone like this, and then just shut the door and been like,
Wow. Yeah.
You know what's dangerous to leave somebody on a toilet like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's dangerous
Yeah,
the first
I've been
3
saying
times
that.
you see it. 30 plus times I'm
They
like,
could
all right,
fall
he's-
and
he's
hit their
done.
head.
Hey.
But that is-
this is her time to
Jane,
shine,
that's
not
your-
me.
That's your go-to move, though.
It is. I
is
love
not-
it.
He always
Because
tries to shower in the
I
toilet.
don't want to say goodnight to anybody because I don't want people to like be upset with me that I'm going to bed.
like sitting on the floor, head in the toilet, or like
I'll
sitting on the toilet?
I'll go I'll sit on the toilet because that's my escape from everybody.
Naked?
And then I fall asleep on the toilet.
Are you naked? Like you're going to the bathroom, you fall asleep?
Normally I'm naked. But then there's been times where I
That's
wake up
crazy.
and I'm fully clothed in my bed. I'm
Wow.
like,
Who
who
put
did
me-
this?
This is some
Who-
foodie shit here.
Who lifted my body up and had to see that and put my pants
This
on?
is some
not
low-cow
okay. And I
shit.
never find out who did it.
Wow.
I wake up and I'm just like,
Maybe it was
Todd,
you.
did you?
Maybe it
He's
was
like,
you.
no. I'm like, Danielle,
Wow.
did you know? It's like,
Wow. So Zane will get so drunk. Great pause there. Zane will get so drunk. He doesn't even know who's taking him to the bedroom. This is a problem, guys. This is that you're getting so drunk and so out of it and you're passing out on the toilet and then someone's getting you to the bed, but you don't know who. And you don't even know how your pants got on. And you're friends with David Dobrik. Think about it.
It could be you.
I don't know.
Yet again, another fight to get you into your PJs, but we
Sorry.
did it. Don't be sorry.
No, let's
What
do
are
a
best
sorry
friends
count.
for?
Someone
She didn't have to
count
work
how many
Fighting her
times
to get
this
into
is
her
sorry.
PJs.
We got a
She's
shirt
probably
on.
a mean
We weren't
drunk.
doing pants.
Yeah,
we
it's fine.
negotiated about the pants, and then we got you in bed.
Is that why the Chloe? Is that why the?
You asked for them, and then you didn't want them anymore.
Oh my god, I have these like.
You
shit-
specifically
I
said,
have
"Go to
these-
my closet, bottom left drawer, get me the Chloe pants." I said, "Okay."
Oh my god, I have these Shih Tzu like
The
PJ bottom.
Chloe pants. You know that's like designer, right? You know those are like probably like $100, $200 pants, like sweatpants. Chloe sweatpants. That's what she's talking about. That's why Zane's making that face right there. Like, go get these and then she didn't put them on.
How are you thinking about that? In
No,
a moment like this?
I saw them the next day, and I was like,
You wanted them,
I
and then
didn't
you
Because
know
didn't
she's
want
a
them.
bougie
That's
ass
funny.
bitch.
And we got you to bed. We gave you your liquid IV. Got you
Very
some
good.
food, and then went to sleep.
Yeah,
So I
you,
had-
you
And
need
she
the
had to get her
hydration.
liquid IV.
Obviously.
okay,
You need to drink
so
some
I
water
was
to
thinking
flush
last
out
night when I
the
was trying to go to
alcohol,
sleep,
not
I was
just
like,
this
oh,
liquid IV shit.
this is gonna be a really embarrassing story to tell. It's okay. I'm willing to monetize. That's it's the price of being.
I'm willing to monetize it
Influencer.
like Foodie Beauty does.
Try it.
He's pointing at
So
me.
I was thinking, I was like, oh my god, moving forward for our team bonding recaps,
I don't
we
think
should
we're gonna do
no,
any
listen.
more of those.
You're like, actually, we wanted to talk to you. I think we're gonna
I'm
end
alright.
it.
I think our next one should be sitting in a circle.
Little kumbaya moment.
We should team bond at
Yeah.
AA.
The sign comes down.
Oh my God. For one, the fact that he said that, I think he's actually implying there's a problem. Remember, he's the sober person. Second of all, AA is not a joke. It's not a joke. It's a program that has helped save tons of people's lives. Thousands of people, millions of people's lives. It's not something that should be joked about. Like, oh, we got so drunk. Let's go to AA next time we team bond, guys. Yeah. No, that's not funny. This is not funny. This entire thing has not been funny at all, guys.
That
This
we
is not
should
a
have
joke.
an MVP of the night, and obviously, I think this
MVP
one
of
goes
the
to
night.
Remy.
Yeah,
Oh yes.
it is very impressive how
For taking all the
motherly
pictures
you
without
are and how
consent.
you snap into it, and go, okay,
No, that was not motherly.
This is my
instinct there.
focus now, and
A
I'm
mother
making
would
sure
have
you're
not
good.
Yeah.
been
Like
okay
if this
with
ever
in the
happened in
first
my
place.
situation, I was in her position, I would hope that you were around because I know I'd be taken care of very nicely.
Oh no,
I
I
would do
never
my
felt
best.
nervous. I knew
Because
I was
she
fine.
would
I
use
never
it for
felt
content.
unsafe, and I have you two to thank for that.
We love you.
Oh,
You're just saying that.
remember at one point.
Wait till
at
you're
one point
not
you're like,
unsafe.
I was like thinking, was I roofied? It's like, no, we were in like the safest.
What? We're gonna hear that again.
For that.
We love you.
Alicia,
the same for us.
remember at one point you're like, I was like thinking, was I roofied? It's like,
Wow. So at one point in the night, Alisha is so drunk, she is considering that she was drugged. This is something I've said on my vlog channel. I'll link that video down too, where I talked about how there's been a lot of instances at Coachella and even like other music festivals where women will get drunk and they'll get so drunk and their friends aren't paying attention that they'll get SA'd. And then here they are at this box suite. Who knows who else was in that suite? And she's considering that maybe she got roofied. She could have. This was at the beginning of the night, too. She was in that bathroom most of the time. We don't know. We don't know who those people. We don't know any of these people. So the fact that she brought that up and they're like, "Oh no, that didn't happen." Are you sure? This is one of the things I have been ranting about over on my vlog channel, that you guys need to watch yourself. Now, yes, getting drunk doesn't mean, you know, like, oh, you deserve to be essayed or, you know, whatnot. And I'm not saying that you can't have a good time because, you know, there's people out there that want to take advantage of you and roofie you and shit like that. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is you guys need to be safe and protect yourself because there are people like that out there. You should be able to have fun and be safe. But going to these limits is just not safe. It's not good. And then we got, you know, Alisha going, I think I was roofied. And Zane's like, oh no. Well, how do we know? We don't know. She was never had her blood taken. We never had her tested to see if she was. Let's continue.
No, we were in like the safest place you could probably be.
We were in a box with ourselves.
Just
Literally
our
no
friends.
outsiders.
You never
Who
know.
fucking roofied me.
No, literally, I was like,
I
yeah.
was worried
Wow.
for a split second though because it went so fast.
Yeah.
And I texted him that I was like,
Yeah.
I was a little nervous.
I guess you saw moments of her, but like I feel like from my point of view, she
It was-
looked normal.
You
I'm
were
the only
fine.
one
Like,
who
you were
really
just,
thinks
like, your
that she
normal,
could have
like,
been
just drunk
roofied.
having fun, and then I guess all this like out of nowhere.
I think it all happened in the bathroom. Like I think it started to hit
No,
her in the
literally.
bathroom.
It did. It was a split second in the bathroom.
I'm the same way too. Like I'll just be like drinking, and I'm like fine, I'm good, and then all of a sudden it's just boom, it just hits you at once.
Yeah,
But
that'll
you have
happen
energy when you-
sometimes.
when
Yeah,
you're lit
that'll
like that.
happen.
I do up until I don't.
Oh, then yeah. When you don't, then it's really bad.
Yeah.
I also
There's
just
like a
kept thinking,
dump of alcohol.
thank God
but
I also didn't get to
could've
the
been.
level
She
that I
could've
was
been
trying
roofied.
to.
No, remember?
Because imagine
Wow.
both of us.
No, I'm sorry. Remember when we were like, hey, like we're watching the
Dangerous.
dogs tonight. Like we gotta like,
Get there.
you know, we gotta be good.
Try to get
Imagine
drunk,
both of them
too.
on stretchers. Pretty basic.
Ooh, no.
that would.
Shared an
No,
ambulance.
Not
We
cute.
could've.
Not
2 for
cute.
1.
Not twinsy.
Pretty
not
wasted.
cute.
instead of
Not
the
cute.
call, it's the ambulance.
Wow, that
Not
I would
cute.
have made sure I filmed a whole new pretty basic intro for you
Thank
guys.
you.
Off my phone.
That
If they-
cover photo would have been sick too.
If they
No.
hadn't if they hadn't given the ultimatum, you would have you could have just slept there. we
No,
would've been
literally, and yeah, I would have been fine.
I'm just glad that our next team bonding is going to be on 4th of July, which, you know, it's going to be a day where, you know, there's usually no
God.
drinking,
Oh, no, wholesome,
partying.
wholesome.
Yeah.
I think they went to
and
David's
I'm just
house.
excited for that day for us.
fine. Who's going to be the MVP of that
No.
day?
We
don't know.
I'm
Wonder
going to get a trophy
who.
made and we'll pass it around.
We
I think we're done here.
With anything.
Maybe MVP doesn't have
and we
to
Are we missing anything
Oh,
else?
Successful first team bonding.
It was.
Yes.
Nope. Okay, wow. Okay. This was a mess. So I wanted to wrap some stuff up here. And let me find something to show you. Okay, here's what I want to show you here. This is a video, and it's called What Happens to Your Brain When You Get Blackout Drunk, The Human Body, and it's by Insider Science. I will link the video below, but let's take a look and watch this video and see what happens to the human brain when it gets blackout drunk, like Alisha did.
Saturday, 12 p.m. The light burns, your head throbs, and you have no recollection of how
Alisha
you got
woke
back
up
home.
on Sunday.
Don't worry, you're not alone. More than half of college students experience blackouts, according to
She's not
several
a college
studies.
student, remember?
And let's be clear, blacking out doesn't mean passing out.
Oh,
You were probably awake and aware the
she
entire
was,
night.
wasn't she?
So then, where did all
Where
those
did they
memories
go, Alisha? Where did all your memories go?
Let's rewind to Friday night. Normally, whenever you have an experience, like a
Mm-hmm. What a cute little
conversation,
brain.
a part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex stores that information in short-term memory.
So
Then
I know a lot about this short-term memory stuff. Patrick, my fiance Patrick, he was in a car accident when he was 17. His left eye is a prosthetic. He had a TBI. He died, basically. He was one of the reasons why I wanted to go into emergency medicine, was because of his car accident and the amazing job the trauma team did to save his life. But he has short-term memory issues from his TBI because of the impact on the prefrontal cortex and stuff, where we store, if I could talk, our short-term memories. So yeah, I know what that's about. So yeah, cute little brain guy though.
Other part of your brain, called the hippocampus, weaves those experiences together so they can be stored away as long-term memories. So the next day, you remember the party as a whole, instead of smell of sweat, house music, Jen was there. But here's the
Luke
key
Combs
part.
train.
Storing these episodes in long-term memory requires special neurotransmitters. But your liquor shots prevent the neurotransmitters from working properly. So, instead of remembering the party, all you have is an incomplete or
Those
even
neurotransmitters right there being disrupted. Those little, let's go back to these little guys
Transmitters.
right here. That's why Alisha couldn't walk. This is one of the reasons why she couldn't walk and she couldn't function. She couldn't coherently, work, was because these little guys weren't communicating right. The little neurotransmitters weren't communicating right in the brain to complete, like functions and stuff, because she drank too much. Or she could have been roofied, like she said. I don't know. That's a whole nother video, but yeah.
But your liquor shots prevent the neurotransmitters from working properly. So, instead of remembering the party, all you have is an incomplete or even empty file.
Just knowing
And
that
the amount
she
of alcohol in your system at the time influences how much you remember. Let's say you're a 73 kilogram adult man, and you've done 8 shots in 1 hour.
Wow.
Your blood alcohol content is probably around 0.2%
Wow.
by this point, more than twice the legal limit
Can
for
you
driving
imagine
a
what
car.
Alicia's was?
And your brain may still be able to store some memories, so you end up with islands of memories separated by missing
Okay.
sections. That's called a
And that's
fragmentary
just a man
blackout,
at
aka
eight shots.
a grayout or
A
brownout.
brownout.
But if
A
you keep
brownout. So after, drinking, this guy had 8 shots of alcohol. This is talking about a man, an adult man, having 8 shots of alcohol and having fragmented memory. A brownout. A brownout. Alisha didn't remember whole parts of this. Like, it sounded like she was like at a brownout going over to a blackout. Like she was going into a blackout. Like, this sounds like, yeah, she was there. She was right there. Like, this is scary, and this is an adult man. Can you imagine how much she drank and where she was at?
those shots, it gets worse.
Yeah.
Within the next half hour, you pound back another 4 shots. Now your blood alcohol content hits around 0.3%, and your hippocampus goes dark, and full amnesia sets in.
So you have to be at 0.3% blood alcohol to be experiencing a blackout. That's when your hippocampus, a part of your brain, starts to shut down because you are so impaired. It's like we need to devote all these other resources to the other parts of your brain right now because you're so impaired, and we're running on we're devoting what resources we do have to keep you alive. That's what's going on.
It's called an en-bloc blackout.
Wow.
And once you wake up, that entire night could be
Yep.
blank.
Scary.
Push your BAC much higher than that, and you might die.
Yep, die.
And yet, your friends might not even realize you're in the
Your
middle
friends,
of a blackout.
like Remy.
Since the alcohol didn't
Yeah,
delete.
see? Like Remy didn't realize that this was going on. She didn't realize that Alisha was more than halfway to the death point. Like that 0.5, that's death. Look how close she was. Her brain, parts of Alicia's brain was already shutting down because of how much alcohol she had consumed. Let's continue.
Your long-term memories already safe in storage before the night began. So you can still carry on conversations and behave more or less like a typical person. To an extent. Blackouts aside, alcohol can still interfere with...
Like, she can seem fine because she has her long-term memory, but because she's impaired and she can't do the short-term memory anymore, that's why you're not going to remember any of the night. But you know, it'll still, like, some people will be blacked out and they will drive cars. Peter Mon talked about going over to a serial killer's house when he was blacked out drunk once. I've heard of people doing all kinds of crazy things while blackout drunk and not remembering any of it. And it is scary AF, especially if you're getting behind the wheel. People will do that, will be blackout drunk and get behind the wheel. And then unalive, like, somebody, like a family or something. This is crazy. Let's continue.
Other regions of your brain, including those responsible for reasoning and decision making. So during blackouts, people have crashed cars, gotten into fights, and committed or been the victims of sexual assault. They might just not remember it. That being said, not everyone gets blackouts. Your sex, body weight, and family history all play a role. So that could explain why your friends recall the entire night, despite downing just as much tequila. But it won't save them from a wicked hangover the next morning.
Yeah. Side note too, this is the end of this video. I'm gonna link it, but side note, when I took I took chemistry and organic chem, and I had the same professor, and he was from Britain, and he would tell us that that Americans don't know how to drink, that when Americans drink, that we don't drink water and we don't hydrate ourselves. And that's why British people can pound it down, is they know how to drink water. And he said, as soon as you start drinking at night, you drink water and you won't get the hangover. A lot of people get hangovers because they're dehydrated from the night before. So yeah, let's wrap this up here. What do I have to say about this reaction? Well, it was a long one. I'm sorry guys, this was long, but this had to be done, and we're going to be doing more, and they will be shorter, but I feel like this is a problem. I wanted to point out why this was a problem by showing this little video about what happens to your brain when you get blackout drunk. It scares me to think that Alisha thought she could have been roofied. And everybody just blew that off, you know. It's scary. This is scary. This just proves her friends are not watching her. These are not your friends, Alisha, because somebody would have sat down and told you how this was a problem. Because it is. It's just, this is sad. So, yeah. I'm going to have more reactions coming up. I'm sorry this one was so long. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know how the volume is. Maybe in the future, I'll do like 1.5 times speed or whatever, or 1.2 times speed, so we can get through these a little faster. But I just thought it was important to go through this story with I just thought that this is not responsible story to put out and laugh about and giggle about, especially to your audience. We know a lot of younger people still watch them. This is not a good thing to be showing to like your sponsors and advertisers how irresponsible you are, because also too, seeing how irresponsible Alisha can be with all this other stuff, it says like, what are you irresponsible like this when it comes to your business, when it comes to your social media? So yeah. And hey guys, please start disclosing the FTC disclaimer on basically Unfiltered. It doesn't take that much, and there's studies to prove that by saying that this is an affiliate link or whatever, it's not going to kill you. It actually makes your audience trust you better. So yeah, I will link everything I talked about. So as always, I'm going to send you guys lots of love, and yeah, I hope to see y'all in the next one. Peace.